start recording first and then start streaming. So that way, if the stream messes up, we still have the recording. But no, the reason it's fucking so creepy. I have to click away from that. So the reason why I have that is because I did all of my social media all at once, and I took a random picture that just happened to like 9 years ago or 6 years ago, and I just like it's everything now, and I just don't update shit. That's what that is. So yeah, there you go. Look at that real neato graphic.
It's I like legit.
It's a graphic and it's neato, so I guess.
So I don't. This is weird. We don't. I don't. Now that it's like started, I don't know where to go with it. Hi, everyone. You two in particular, because there's no one else here. You motherfuckers going quiet all of a sudden. What the fuck?
Hello.
This is Trevor talking to himself, apparently.
As always.
Wow.
What a podcast, eh? What?
Yeah, all 1 minute into it.
What a something, I guess.
I can close all this.
That'd be a novel idea, right? Just have like a podcast and like have guests, but like it's just you talking to your guests, like literally just you talking to them.
And all the guests are sock puppets because you don't know anybody.
That's a Twitch category. It's called just chatting, dumbass.
Wow, it's already very aggressive. I see what the antagonist of this thing is going to be.
Very heated, very fast.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank our sponsors. No one, because
Not even my mom want to sponsor this shit.
That sounds pretty accurate for me too.
That's unfortunate.
Man, it's been
I would get like a pat on the back. Anyways, sorry.
I would not. I'd be like, you're wasting your time, Trevor. Stop it. Do something productive. Get a job. And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Get a job.
Close the door, Mom.
I've told that story so many times now. It's ridiculous.
It's a great story.
It's like I think it's easily like probably your favorite of the program so far. I don't know if I can top it. I'll be honest.
I could not believe like you had the absolute balls to make that joke.
about a book about pedophilia. Yeah. It was
Yes.
It was out before I realized it was
We're
out.
already on a great start to getting banned. We should do a speed run. Any percentage of how long it takes for us to get banned.
No.
Yeah.
How about no?
Maybe not.
I'm the only one who really has any consequence here.
That's true.
I really do
Is
like
it
I really do like my
is it a
channel.
tool? Is it a tool assisted speedrun? Can we like just get like bots to just like spam like racial slurs in our chat?
It's a horrible pun.
Yes.
It's a terrible pun. But no, I think I just think it's a funny story because it is a funny story.
No, it is.
What am I doing? Wait, what? How do I? Oh, right there. Yeah, I don't. It was great because I did it in front of a class of very uncomfortable people. And
People that needed to go out of the classroom when they heard us talking. It was.
well, we did warn them, so.
I mean, yeah.
So
We're like, by the way, we're gonna be talking about some really shitty stuff.
and then we started making jokes about it. That was the worst part.
I'm glad we went like kind of serious with the presentation.
I liked my original idea better.
I
mean, I'm glad we didn't go with it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was the better
The
idea.
name tags idea.
Oh no, I meant the idea where throughout the presentation you had like a lolly traveling across like
that other idea.
Like the
Yeah, we
slide,
had
you
a
pedal bear
lot of
getting closer and closer.
we had a lot
With
of great
the-
ideas.
Yeah, with the last slide being the Hagao face, or however the fuck you say that. I'm white. I can't say things properly that aren't in English. I mean that in the best way. I'm just fucking dumb.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
But that was Then
That was real fun.
I was like, I read it
Or
in the
was it?
car. I read that in the car during a road trip and was like, what the fuck is wrong with Trevor? A lot, as it turns out.
Yeah, I mean, how people started wanting to talk to you just because you're weird.
That was so uncomfortable.
Do you feel like a circus pet? Like an act?
Yeah, I guess. And then one person's like, hey, you should go to prison, Trevor. And I'm like, I'm sorry. They're like, it'd be an interesting story. And I'm like, I'm not a method actor.
I remember. Oh man, I want to ask who it is, but like obviously, we're streaming now.
Well, I mean, I can. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah, that's legal, I guess.
No, it's not really
Maybe.
illegal. Like, who's gonna? No one. Hang on, I can make
It's a
another
victimless crime. Like
I can make
victimless
another private channel for the sake of it. What should I call it? Poopsie doopsie. There we go. Let's.
Yes, that one. I remember that person.
Oh, it's
That's
poops doops. It's poops doops now. I decided to delete the Y's. All right, let's edit the channel. Invite permission. There's a lot of work just to like fucking be like, hey, it's this person, but you know, I think I can't say it out loud clearly.
Yeah.
Everyone is okay. Everyone.
okay.
Read messages. Does that mean people can't see it?
I mean,
I feel like I did this before, but
I'm not.
Okay, you can
that
read
curious.
messages. I'll add. There we go. Read messages. I assume that you guys can see that.
Yep.
Okay, so. All right, cool. Actually, just show. Okay, cool. Because if I go to something else, shows everyone who's online.
Oh, yeah.
If I do that, shows no one.
It's
Good,
just-
good. I set that up properly. I'm a wizard. So, for the sake of privacy. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I am a wizard. Not that kind of wizard. I'm like a low, like a tiny wizard. I'm a microscopic wizard. As opposed to Donald Trump,
whatever that means, yeah.
As opposed to Donald Trump, who is the opposite of a microscopic wizard.
He's a huge wizard.
A grandiose wizard, as you will.
That would be one way of calling it
properly. So I'm going to assume this is it. But I'm putting in our super secret, our second super secret Discord. Oh my God, this is actually the third one, isn't it? Okay. Point is, the name's there now.
Oh.
Apparently, I inspired someone to read a horrible book, which I didn't fully read myself.
I was there.
So it was very weird.
It was interesting, to say the least. I mean, how are you talking with someone about whatever we were talking, and then someone comes around and says, "You should go to prison."
Look, I didn't write it. Like,
How do you respond to that? Oh, thank you.
No, I think my initial reaction was why.
Yes.
Because you're messed up, so you should go to prison and write about it. And it's like, yeah.
Like I mean, I guess, but I'm not doing that. I'm pretty sure I can just imagine what prison's like.
If you want to be hardcore, instead of like reading a book about prison and just going there.
It's a funny story.
Yeah.
I do not want to be hardcore. I want to be like as soft can humanly be. I want to be like softcore. I want to be like
how soft can you be?
Very, very squishy inside.
But in a way, Aren't we all squishy inside?
That's my point. I don't want to
And
be hard.
screaming in pain as well.
That's right. I want to be like
Sure.
one of those people that's like just jello inside. This is such a low budget. Imagine graphic. I just happened to be able
Low
to change the two
budget.
colors.
It's not even low budget. Like, there's not even a budget.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's true.
What do you say? How do you call something that doesn't have a budget?
Poor. I don't
It's
know.
not cheap because cheap is low money.
Yeah.
Is it
that's
free?
That's, I guess. But is anything free in a capitalistic society? Is anything
No,
really
it's
free?
not.
I feel like you know what? I'm gonna. I feel like it'd be a bad idea to tweet this out. Or actually, so I'm not. Just in case people actually show up and start watching. Actually, you know what? I will. I haven't used Twitter in like 10 years. So
Yeah.
here we
I haven't
go.
used Twitter in a while.
First, I'm going to make sure that it's not. I'm like, who the hell?
Do you want me to tweet it out too? I can tweet it out.
I mean, if you want, then I can
I
be
don't have a
lazy and
Twitter.
just retweet you.
I mean, I have a Twitter. I don't use
I
Twitter.
can just be lazy, just retweet you. Yeah, that's a good idea because I only have maybe like 20 followers because I don't use this shit.
I pay YouTube views a protest. Okay, sorry. Give me 1 sec.
No.
Oh, I have the video open. Duh. I'm like looking for the link. I'm like, where's the link? Like the one time, like, hey, I don't have the one. Whatever. Anyways, I'm dumb.
Oh, I should probably stop my defragmentation of my hard drive. It's at 23% fragmentation, by the way. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm going to assume it's bad.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll restart that after. Just because I think that might affect the quality. The quality of the stream.
The ultra quality.
Yeah,
that's like
that 720
showing in your face that everyone that comes to the stream is like, oh my god.
That 720p 60 frames per second text. I don't know why I have no clue why I couldn't think of text for a while. There you go.
I'm gonna tag you in this.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, just. Huh. The one time I'm like opening up fucking Twitter and I see like your retweet of fucking what Nickelodeon Kids did. That's some
Yeah,
fucking,
Daisy just showed me that. Yeah.
That's some real solid shit. Not gonna lie.
What the fuck did they do?
It appears that Nickelodeon actually stopped their broadcasting for like almost 5 minutes in solidarity. Trump edition blah 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 blah. All right, let me see what. Oh my God! What? America or Trump? What? What's this?
Here, this is what. Oh Jesus! This is what I'm gonna send.
1-star Yelp review of the United States.
Imagine.
Oh, you know what?
I mean, it's not just the two of us.
I know. So, hold on. Yeah. So,
unless David has a Twitter as well. I mean, if you don't, I don't blame you.
I do. I just don't use it.
Oh, I don't either. But I mean, if people start following, that's pretty cool too, right?
Can I tag you? Like, what's your Twitter?
I will have to look that up because I have no fucking clue.
Are you? Hold on.
The only reason
Maybe it's the same as my Twitch.
The only reason why I know.
Oh yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. Are you sure? Oh, it's the same as your Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is.
Or the same as my Discord.
It's separate 512.
Oh, same as your Discord, but 1 2 at the end. Yeah, because otherwise it's no, you don't exist.
I don't.
According to the internet, you don't exist. Shit.
Does anyone exist really?
That's gonna have to be next week, David.
Oh, sorry.
What's your Twitch username? Maybe you can throw your Twitch username in
there you go. I just threw you the link.
Oh, duh.
Mr. Pancake.
Yeah, I like
19
pancakes.
followers.
Oh, that's you. Oh, Mr. Pancake. Yeah, that's you. All right.
I have 2 tweets, and I think they're retweets for like giveaways that I will never win. But who doesn't want free shit, right?
They're for giveaways. Apparently, in 1927, Trump's father was arrested at a KKK rally. I'm going to assume he wasn't against the KKK. What's the Insurrection Act? I'm going to find out what that is. I can look stuff up. I'm being useful.
And I are joining. Oh God. Stream to.
Let me see. What is the interaction? Let me see here.
Here, okay. So this is what I'm gonna send.
I guess that works. I mean, you could have. All right, that works.
I'm starting. I'm getting.
I don't know if you're joining the stream with the whole idea is like, or whatever. But yeah.
Oh, that we're like all streaming together.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, just it's a communal thing now.
Okay.
It's like
that is true.
It's like an open mouth. we all pee in the same hole.
Great.
Wait, those two sentences sound really bad together. No, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you just discover that, or was it like something that
occurred to me afterwards? Oh, apparently. Oh, wow. The Insurrection Act is like pretty fucking extreme. Apparently, it's to deploy the military in the country, which apparently you can't do in the U.S. or any fucking rational fucking country.
But the U.S. is whatever, but not rational.
It stopped being rational some time ago.
Cool.
Oh, I could argue a very long time ago.
This is okay. How about this? Does this work? Man, probably should have figured this out before we started streaming.
It's the first one. Whatever.
Fair.
I could retitle it to number 0.5. Yeah, it works.
Cool.
I'm cool with that. It's getting darker. I'm going to assume that's like all the fires blotting out the sky.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, 1807. Oh shit! The Los Angeles riots, the Chicago riots. Apparently, it was actually like pretty normal. Well, not normal, but I mean, the Baltimore riot. What's Little Rock 9? Is it the 9th Little Rock? Oh.
What are you looking at?
No, I'm just looking at like the Insurrection Act, because apparently Trump is thinking about putting that into effect, which is basically just allowing the military to kind of do their thing to quell rebellion.
Boy,
yeah,
that's a bit horrifying.
Sounds pretty
threatened to invoke the
horrifying,
act in response to nationwide riots after the death of George Floyd. So his death is actually considered a homicide, like legitimately a homicide now. It's pretty crazy. Oh,
yeah. It's considered what?
It's actually like considered. Oh my God, what? Why does it say that? It shouldn't say that. That's not what the title is. Why is it saying new microphone? Who dis? It's not the title at all.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know why it does that, but whatever. Retweet. Which had 2 people retweeted. What? You can't find out who retweeted. Unless David did it too. I don't know. But
it says 1 person retweeted it.
It says 2 on mine, but whatever. It's very weird. But yeah, it's very like crazy. I don't. What the hell? Why is it saying? Does it actually have that title?
No, it says actually.
Okay, good. It doesn't have that title. Good.
U.S.
so
series finale.
Why does it do that? Whatever. I can like turn my microphone on and off because I had to cough, and it was. I don't know why I'm doing a play-by-play of that, but I did. So, man. Like when I saw that, he was like doing like, the fucking. My God. Martial law. I don't know why I brain farted there. I was like, oh my God. That's horrible.
Yeah.
It's some pretty crazy shit when you like you'd sooner call fucking martial law than you would, I don't know, like arrest all the officers involved. It's like,
well, I don't know if you noticed, but officer just happened to be black. Not black, white. Him to be white. He was black and been shot on the spot. So, what's interesting is a lot of like people are like a lot of activists are actually calling it a public lynching, which to me makes sense because it was like asphyxiation, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's surprisingly accurate. Yeah, that's really.
Because like apparently
it's fucked. I don't know how else to put it. It's fucked. I don't know how else to put it.
A little bit. So apparently they had like an autopsy done, and the cause of death was I forget the actual term, but it's like asphyxiation because there was apparently like a knee on his like the back of his neck, which people know about.
Yeah.
But apparently there's also like 2 people like on his back as well.
Yeah. I also read that. I haven't been able to confirm it because I know people talk and I don't know when they talk.
Oh no, I was
like
watching
shit or not.
I was watching like because like right before this, like I can't go into this like not like completely blind. So I had watched some like news briefs and like it wasn't an autopsy that was actually like commissioned by like the guy's family to find out like his actual cause of death, and it turns out that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are actually calling it a public lynching, which is fucking extreme, but that seems to be exactly what it was. I mean, without a rope, what else can you really call it?
I don't want to add fuel to the conspiracy theory fire, but
that's a great way of starting.
But the first autopsy report was done by the same what are they called? Coroners? Yeah, it was done by the same coroner who did Epstein's autopsy. So
do they try to pin like sex trafficking, like child sex trafficking charges on him too?
No. Well, I mean, the whole thing with this coroner, where he was like, "Oh, it looked like he definitely totally killed himself," and then they got him to do this. They got him to do that first autopsy, and it was like, well, he had some pre-existing medical conditions of which he probably wasn't covered for because that's how the U.S. be, right? He had some pre-existing medical conditions, in addition to asphyxiation. So he was asphyxiated.
Commissioned
like,
by George
no, I don't want to sound
fuck?
out here. Oh, actually, yeah. It looks like. Well, I don't know about. Oh, okay. There's like. It doesn't say who did it. Wait, no. Wait, what? by Wilson and Dr. Michael Baden, his former chief, blah, blah, blah. To conduct the autopsy of Eric Gardner, a black man who died, blah, blah, chokehold during his arrest. I was just skimming. Hang on.
Mhm.
Let's see here. So apparently there was one. So okay, there were two autopsies done. One was by like a county medical examiner, the other by an independent. It says pathologist here, which is another coroner, or like a medical examiner. And apparently they had two different reports on what happened. So one of them said mechanical asphyxiation, which it seems to be the prevailing theory. Not, I say theory very, very facetiously. That's exactly what happened. And then the county medical examiner said he died of cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck suppression or neck compression.
So the other one's pretty much the same, just
one has just fancier wording. But they're both ruled as homicide. However, the one done by the state argues that it's not like a legal way of suggesting intent or culpability. So there's that. It's very interesting, but when the U.S. is fucking burning to the ground, holy shit!
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a fun time to not go outside in other countries and not have to fucking suffer that. Because holy shit. I think it was yesterday, there was like a fucking truck dragging gas or something that went through a bunch of people, or tried to. I don't know how intentional it was.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I think a lot of those things are because we don't know. I mean, a lot of those videos are taken top down. We don't get to see the driver's intentions. They probably just wanted to get the fuck out of there. They probably didn't want to run anybody over. But it looks like that, and that's what happens with these. That's what happens with riots. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
is things look worse. Things look bad. Whenever you look at a riot, you're like, oh man, look at how look at all these angry protesters, and this isn't a peaceful protest. And then you look into the nitty gritty of it, and it's like, oh, well, police officers were starting shit, and you got some how do you say dubious dishonest actors going in there and starting shit in the riots, to make the protesters look like rioters, and it's riots are just fucking chaos. It's yeah, the riots, the riots are just fucking chaos, and the police are taking advantage of that, and some people in the media are taking advantage of that. I will say Slate, not our Slate,
the school, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, fucking where is it? Slate put out a news article that said the headline was "Police erupt in violence nationwide," which is about as accurate an article, a headline as you can get nowadays, and but other news organizations are just protester died from a bullet fired from police officer's gun. It's like, fucking, I get it's a riot and I get it's chaos, but just like call it what it is, man. Like, that was sorry, that whole thing was like a non sequitur. I'm just like,
I mean,
like pissed at the media.
so okay, so at least like Trudeau, ironically, was like, yeah, anti-black racism is real. Thanks for the.
What? Sorry, Trudeau was against racism?
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Wow. Well, thank God he finally came out and said it, because like I was getting real worried. It's more about that low key racism.
Yeah.
He dresses up like Aladdin. That's neither here nor there. Trudeau is largely pretty okay, but you know, something like that is just like a fucking empty platitude. It was like, I bad racism. You can count on me, Mr. Trudeau, to not do a racism. Like, fucking bravo, Justin. Bravo. You fucking you don't get a pat on the back for being against racism. That's like that's the bare minimum. Thank you though. Thanks for trying.
I mean, I guess better now than like, you know, a few years ago. I don't know, man.
It's a fucking scary time. Like in the States, at least, not for us here in the Great White North. Although we're while we do have our own set of problems, you know, it's not immediately it's not as immediate as the riots are.
Yeah, but it does make you think of why it's happening in the US and why it happened so quickly. Because you've had protests for Black Lives Matter and movements and activism for a while, but this one was just the one that made it, you know, like everything collapsed, and it was that. Even as you said, even Nickelodeon, even Cartoon Network, even famous Twitter people are sending their regards when that hadn't happened before. I mean, it did, but not as big and not as massive as it's happening now. So makes you think of why was this one the catalyst for everything that's happening now.
There was another person shot dead this morning. Apparently just like a business owner shot by police as well, because coincidentally they had their body cameras turned off. So the story is they were being shot at, so they returned fire, but there's no like body cam footage.
It never is it?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of old things are coming up. Like I saw a video of a black man being bitten by a dog on the leg, and it was a video from 2016. But it's like all of these are coming out again as like, you know, now that this is happening, we should all remember that this happened and that this happened, and every dozen of other cases that happened before. And you can get the picture of like why this is happening. You've had so many and so much of it in the past, and so many incidents and stuff that people tried to do something about it but never happened, that you can't understand why it's happening now, right?
Yeah. I was just watching Vosh. You know Vosh, Trevor.
Not personally, but yeah.
You know of him.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of his videos lately.
Yeah, he put out that video recently about oh geez, I'm on YouTube right now. It is called a video, should we condemn the rioters? And like he talked about this sociologist who made the argument that when like crime happens, like crime doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? Crime obviously happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So you can look at crimes happening, and you can figure out like what, like why did they happen, right? Like the example he used is I don't know what time period it is. Hopefully not recent. But apparently there's a lot of like grave robbing going around. That was happening like a certain city. So the grave robbing was happening because universities and I think it was universities, like doctors didn't have like the like corpses that they needed to like do like they didn't have like corpses that they needed because they need like corpses to like, I don't know, like experiment on, or like maybe it was scientists or something, but like corpses needed for like science and medical reasons. Like they needed those, but they weren't, the state wasn't providing it to them, so they were doing it themselves, right? So crime kind of like you look at crime, and like crime is like an indicator of like a larger problem. So like you look at the riots, and like these riots don't happen in a vacuum. Like it's easy to like look at these it's easy to look at the riots because like, yeah, you know, David, exactly like what you're saying, right? It's like it's easy to look at these riots and go, oh, well, yeah, these riots are just a bunch of, you know, it's just a bunch of uppity African Americans, you know, and they're not happy. They're never happy. But it's like, no, like this stuff, like you said, this stuff has been happening for like centuries. Like, you know, like they're America's first what was it? Unintentional? No. They didn't want to come here. They're immigrants that didn't want to come here. Yeah, they're like immigrants that didn't want to come here. They didn't want to be here, you know? They came as property, and like it's just like the problems have been stacking up, you know? Like things are getting better, sure, but it's like the stuff just keeps fucking happening.
But not as better as they need to be.
Yeah, that's it. Like it should be getting a hell of a lot better, but it's like,
yeah,
you know, like look at fucking what was it? What was it in Minnesota? Like I know this whole thing took place in Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think question mark. I don't
actually. No, yeah, Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, just want to make sure. And there's that one video of there's a one video of a police officer shooting like a paint gun at somebody who was up on their like second, maybe like third floor window recording them. Like they just like fired up and shot at him.
I've seen stuff like that from like people just standing on like their porches while like an army of like police officers and like SWAT people are just like walking down their street, and they just start like they tell them to get back inside even though they're like on their porch, and then you hear light them up, and then like you just like you see
oh yeah, I saw that
get shot at them. But so apparently martial law has been officially declared. So no one's allowed outside after 7 p.m.
Damn.
That is unreal.
That was about 2 hours ago, I think.
Let's see.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I'm on C-SPAN. I'm looking at all this. He walks. So apparently, yeah. Anyways, that is neither here nor there. The part I was gonna say. Yeah. This is pretty nuts. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Yeah, it's fucking bonkers, man. Like,
there's like for one on Twitter, and someone is literally like saying like he's someone's saying that he's enacted like martial law to start a civil war instead of coming up with a method to decrease police brutality. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think those concepts bump. Like, I can understand why martial law is being applied, because I mean it is all fucked up. But with the way police has been acting against civilians, martial law is just going to give them another incentive to be even worse than they were before. You know, we gotta look at the whole picture and we gotta look at everything, but you know, everything can go backwards again.
it's gonna be interesting. I'm glad I'm not in America. Holy shit. This shit is like crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy's
That's an understatement, I know, but it just
yeah.
Like I don't think he's being reelected.
You know what's fucked is, what's fucked, man? I can like totally see him getting reelected after this. I can see.
Yeah, surely.
Not to be like a Debbie Downer or whatever. But like, check this, right? Like you think back to when was 2000? When was, I was gonna say, when was 2016? When what the elections
1,000 years ago, it feels like.
Were the elections in 2016, or were they 2015 leading into 2016?
I think they were 2016. I would like to say that because they're coming up pretty soon.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, math is hard. So like, check this, right? Like, this guy has, like, coming into the election, this guy had, and still does, dozens of allegations of a certain nature under his belt. No pun intended. You know, like, yeah, dozens of allegations. Made his campaign on, his entire campaign was like, boy, those Mexicans sure are violent, aren't they? What else was it? Oh yeah, he just hated Muslims and didn't want him in the country because that's how he be, right? And everybody went, wow, this guy is crazy. There's no way that he could be president.
Possibly get worse.
Yeah, this 4
years later.
Yeah, this is just a meme, you know. This is a layup for the Democrats, you know, like, they can knock this out of the park. Nope. That didn't happen, and there are people who legitimately believe in his dumbass, like, his dumbass bullshit rhetoric, you know.
It's enough people to get him reelected for this term.
Let me see here.
There are people who are gonna see this. There are people who are gonna see this act of, like, I don't know if it's literally, like, I don't know if martial law is like that's like a proper noun. Like, I don't know if that's a thing like you can do. But yeah, it's effectively martial law, I guess, or it is martial law. I don't know. Like, there are people who are gonna, like, see this kind of stuff as, like, an act of power, you know, on his part. They're like, oh, he's proactive about this, you know, he's taking charge. He's putting a kibosh on all this. It's like, wait, sorry, I just gotta check my notes here. Yeah, racism against the against black people.
He like winks really heavily. I'm gonna put a stop to this. Wink. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I mean, when you have people in the protests with guns, like assault rifles, not even pistols, like actual military equipment, and those same people that went and protested like months ago for the Second Amendment and went out in the street with sniper rifles and assault rifles and shit.
Yeah.
Are some of those are the ones that are there today out like saying, look, I got a big gun. And those same people that are not doing it for the protest or the movement, that they just go out with guns and do whatever the fuck they're doing, are the ones that will vote for Trump again.
Yeah, that's because Trump just wants to, like, I want to say like they're voting for him because they want to uphold the status quo, but like
it's a terrifying status quo.
At some point, like I think you got to admit, like he's like, this isn't the status. Like he's not even trying to uphold the status quo. Like he's trying to like roll things back. Like when he was saying like his whole "Make America," that whole
Make America hate again. Is that what you're trying
to? Yeah. It's like when exactly was it great, man? It's like, look at what's happening now. It's like, yeah, like these David saying, like the people that want to vote for him, the people that are gonna vote for him are like the people who love the status quo. They love the Second Amendment. They love the fact that police officers can they have like carte blanche to do whatever they want to African Americans. Like they fucking his base like loves that shit. They want to like grind it up and snort it, and like these are the people that are gonna vote for him and
grind it up and snort it. Oh my god, it's
or yeah, like they love it, man. Like they're like frothing at the mouth. Yeah, they're like.
And it's weird because if you look on the internet and everything, Trump seems to be hated by the majority and loved or at least liked or supported by the minority. But he's still winning and he's still getting a lot, like not a lot, a shit ton of voters and stuff. So where the fuck are those people? Like who are the people that love him so much that they are everywhere to be seen, but at the same time they are nowhere? Because if you look at like the US and shit, you see that supporters don't go running around the street. I mean they do, but they just gather at Trump support places, shit, and like all of that. But when you see online and when you see it even in the country, you don't get everyone saying Trump is the best. You get the most people saying that either he's not good or they don't care much. But then you still have all these voters and all this shit who will support them, and he still will win the elections because of it. Because of all these people that nobody knows where they come from, but they are there somewhere doing their shit.
It's really remarkable, like hearing you say all that. It's really remarkable, like what kind of stuff like people are willing to put up with. Like so like you're saying that. So if I'm understanding correctly, so the people that'll vote for him will basically vote for him like no matter what, more or less. Like they like what he's doing, but it's like and even if they're not, they're like willing to put like some like the worst stuff aside, and it's like it boggles my mind because it's like, bro, fucking look at the worst stuff he's doing. Like, even look at the mildly bad stuff he's doing. It's like you're willing to put that shit aside, bro. Have you checked fucking Did you see this was an episode of the Patriot Act. They Hassan Minaj did an episode on Justin Trudeau, and he said that after Trudeau's like blackface scandal, his he went from what was it? It was like a 65% approval rating to like a 39% approval rating.
Eesh.
After the blackface scandal, and I was like, bro, all it took was blackface. Not all it took, but I mean, like, it was like, compared to the U.S., it was like, if it was like Trump and blackface, like, they wouldn't even flinch.
Because I don't think anyone would be surprised. I think that
no one would be surprised.
I think the difference is like the moment Trudeau was like in office, he was like, okay, my cabinet is gonna be split down the middle, male and female, and they're gonna come from like all walks of life. He's like, I'm gonna put like First Nations, like that cabinet is gonna be led by someone First Nations. So it was it was surprising from Trudeau because he had done all this other stuff to be like, hey, Canada's a multicultural nation and I'm gonna fucking prove it. And then Donald Trump is like, hey guys, I just got this hood refitted. And everyone's like, yeah, well, I guess, yeah. Not surprising.
It's like, man, I didn't know they laminated these cards, you know, from this card-carrying organization of wizardry of the highest order, like a racist Hogwarts.
Man, government officials in the U.S. are fighting back against him. It's because like apparently in a group chat, he I think he yeah, I'm gonna read a tweet from I don't know who that is. Considering that I don't know what state she's Gretchen Whitmer, whatever state she's in charge of. But apparently President Trump told governors to put it down or we would be overridden. He said governors should dominate protesters or you'll look like a bunch of jerks. This is coming from someone who like he's technically the boss of.
That's some shit. I heard about that. I was listening to the what's it called? To the recording earlier today because they recorded that. Someone recorded. I don't know if it was the whole call or just some of the call, but it was like 55-minute call, and he was like, and he was like giving these governors hell, right, for not clamping down. And yeah, like exactly what you said. It's like, bro, you're their boss, man. It's like you're got the two, for lack of a better term, I mean, you've got your finger on the trigger, man. Like you're the guy who can do it. Not that he should, but it's like you're the guy who can do it, and that's been like this whole fucking administration is just passing the buck. It's like, oh, the governors will do it. It's like, hey, what about this whole there's this thing where people they're getting really sick and it's in their lungs, and 3% of people who get it die. Should you like maybe take care of this? And he's like, no, that it's a state by state basis. All the states got to take care of it. It's like, no, motherfucker. It's like, it's your job. Like, you're the man. You should be the man with the plan. This isn't.
He doesn't.
This isn't a fucking Walmart. Where you got like assistant managers under you, and the assistant managers, you know, got the fucking department managers under them, and the department managers got their lead hands, and it's like, fucking no, man, you are the guy who can do this. You're the guy who has to make the orders, you know. All the shittiest managers and all the like the shittiest managers, like I know, like retail, I've got like fucking tons of years in retail. Like if you pointed me at a fucking at a manager who literally, like, all he did was just like tell all of his assistant managers to do stuff, I would say that's a shitty manager.
Yeah, I've met many a shitty manager in my time, so it's very easy to tell if they can't like if they don't like taking the blame for something, or the moment that something goes well they take credit, or something goes bad it's someone else. That's usually a good sign of a bad manager.
Or if they do something bad, they just pretend it's a joke, or it's something that they didn't mean it that way.
Yeah,
like you remember that manager that said to inject soap into your veins to cure COVID? I remember that one. And then they said, no, it was sarcasm. You don't get it.
So I just
even if it was actually a joke, which I don't think so, but let's assume it was a joke, there are still dumb enough people that follow you and that will believe your bullshit. So why the fuck would you do that?
I just posted him declaring martial law. I'm just gonna play it on stream. It's like 7 minutes. I might not listen to all of it.
Americans, my first and highest duty
actually, I'm gonna turn that
as
down,
president is to defend our great country.
I don't want to be too loud in my ears. I might catch people. It.
I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do. All Americans were rightly sickened and revolted by the brutal death of George Floyd. My administration is fully committed that for George and his family, justice will be served. He will not have died in vain. But we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob. The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our poorest communities. And as their president, I will fight to keep them safe. I will fight to protect you. I am your president of law and order and an ally of all peaceful protesters. But in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists, violent mobs, arsonists,
I think the idea of a professional anarchist is a little bit
Antifa,
contradictory.
And others. A number of state and local governments have failed to take necessary action to safeguard their residents. Innocent people have been savagely beaten, like the young man in Dallas, Texas, who was left dying on the street, or the woman in upstate New York viciously attacked by dangerous thugs. Small business owners have seen their dreams
I like how he
utterly
mentions
destroyed.
Things but never gives anything specific.
New York's finest have been hit in the face with bricks. Brave nurses who have battled the virus are afraid to leave their homes. A police precinct has been overrun. Here in the nation's capital, the Lincoln Memorial and the World War II Memorial have been vandalized. One of our most historic churches was set ablaze. A federal officer in California, an African-American enforcement hero, was shot and killed. These are not acts of peaceful protest. These are acts of domestic terror. The destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity and a crime against God. America needs creation, not destruction. Cooperation, not contempt. Security, not anarchy. Healing, not hatred.
God damn it.
Justice,
Domestic
not chaos.
Terrorism.
This is our mission, and we will succeed. 100%. We will succeed. Our country always wins.
Yeah.
That is why
But-
I am taking immediate presidential action
Like,
to
what's
stop
what's
the violence
point
and restore
of it,
security
you know?
and safety in America.
Like, you're saying
I am
all of
mobilizing
this,
all available federal
but you haven't
resources,
done
civilian and
anything.
military,
Like, haven't
to stop
done
the rioting and
something,
looting,
actually something
to
about
end the
it.
destruction and
Just
arson, and to
talking
protect
about
the
it,
rights
saying-
of law-abiding
declaring the martial
Americans,
law.
including your Second Amendment rights. Therefore,
there's more to
the
it
following measures are going
than
into
just
effect
That's
immediately.
putting.
What is the Second Amendment? Because it seems very weird that he would mention the Second Amendment. What is the Second
Second
Amendment?
That's
Amendment is the one that lets you bear arms.
Okay, because he just randomly mentioned the Second Amendment.
He always mentions the Second
It
Amendment.
has nothing to do with people taking your fucking guns
First,
away,
we are
dude.
ending the riots and
And
Yeah,
it's fucking
lawlessness
dumb to mention
that
the
has
Second
spread throughout our
Amendment.
country.
Like, people
We will end it now.
are being shot
Today,
by
I have
police
strongly
and by
recommended to
thugs,
every governor
both
to
sides,
deploy
and you're still
the
defending
National Guard in
the,
sufficient
the
numbers.
law that lets you
that we
do
dominate
that lets
the
you have a
streets.
gun.
Mayors and governors must
I feel like he's not very good at the whole talking word mouth noise thing.
Yeah, probably
Because
not.
how can you be like we should return peace to the people by dominating them? Like, how does I just call me crazy, but I don't think those two are exactly mutually exclusive ideas.
I mean, with the tweet he did about just shooting everyone up, that was looting. It was like, you know that he's going to say that. You know that's.
I mean, he's already
that's where he's going to go.
He's allowed the military to kind of go, hey, it's your turn now. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it's a legitimate civil war in the U.S. by the end of the month. Hopefully not, but I mean,
establish an overwhelming law enforcement presence until the violence has been quelled. If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem
It's
for
kind of
them.
hard to find the words.
I am also
to
taking swift
define
and decisive
everything that's
action
going on
to
there.
protect our great capital,
But when you
Washington,
got
D.C.
a
What happened
president
in the
like
city
Trump,
last night
that's
was a total
so everyone's
disgrace.
looting, everyone's
As we speak,
burning
I am
shit, everyone's
dispatching
shooting
thousands
people.
and thousands
Let's
of
just
heavily
drag
armed
the fucking
soldiers,
military into town.
military
Of
personnel,
course, that
and
will
law
help
enforcement
everything
officers
else.
to stop
Like
the
if you have
rioting,
someone with a gun,
looting,
and even if they're not shooting, there's the risk of shooting. You will just bring the military will shoot them, and then it will be just another casualty of a protest that it's trying to end with the casualties and the death and the bloodbaths and shit. But your best idea is to increase the possibility of another killing and another someone dying when the movement is clearly against that happening again. So doesn't make any sense.
it's funny is they're on Twitter. I don't know if you noticed this, Mark, but on Twitter, there's a new hashtag. There's a hashtag that seems to be trending currently.
Yeah.
Dictator Trump.
I mean, yeah. People have been saying this before he got elected. This shit boggles my mind. You got bro, you got you had actual people. You had people from the actual. Man, I don't know what I can say. I don't know what words I can say on your channel that might
Nothing,
bad thing.
Nothing overtly racist, if you could, and don't wish destruction on a country. Cause,
oh right, like Vosh.
Yeah, no, I don't. No.
That was a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't. No, just don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So the German dictator with the tiny mustache
I'm pretty sure you can say his name. Just don't like fucking advocate for him. That's all I ask. I mean, I know you won't, but you know.
It's like, well, if you insist, yeah. So like there were like survivors of the Holocaust who were just straight up before and after Trump got elected, they were like, man, this is the way he talks is kind of the way, you know, it was kind of the way Hitler talked, you know. It's like it's got the same, you know, it's got the same feel, you know. He was like playing on everybody's fears. Historians were coming out and being like, yeah, this is kind of similar to World War II Germany, you know, like this is it's a little sketchy, and people were just going out like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. He's not like Hitler at all. And now it's civil fucking war, and you know, now people are coming out and be like, oh yeah, he's a dictator. It's like, motherfuck, it should have been like this since day one.
I think.
Are you kidding me?
Fuck,
man.
It's very interesting.
I'm mad at it.
I'm finding it very interesting that all these I mean just very, I don't know, man. Trump considers, he hasn't considered it. He's doing it right now.
Yeah, the consideration part was like a while ago.
Like, it's just like the way he talks about it too. He's like, we're going to go out there and dominate the protesters. Like, dude, that's literally what they're protesting. You're not helping. It's like, I don't know, dude. It's an interesting time. I imagine so like I think all empires end. I think that's just historically a thing. I think we're seeing the end of the U.S. as a superpower.
Scary
I
thought.
mean, you know how there are still some shit under everything that's happening now, like that virus that we all know about, it's still going around and people are gathering to protest.
Yeah.
So it's not like that stopped. So
that's right.
Even if all these protests and stuff ends, which hopefully ends in a good note, in change, in something, there's still like 500,000 cases in the US, and there's still all that shit going on.
Let me see.
So when this is over, it's not going to be over. There's still a lot of stuff that's going on that needs fixing.
I think it was like last week, there was like let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. So the current deaths in, oh my god, that's horrifying actually. So speaking of the coronavirus, in current confirmed cases, it's 1.85 million right now. And there's been over 107,000 deaths.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I imagine it's gonna skyrocket. Because in those protests, people are not fucking distancing from one another.
No, of course not. There is, oh my fucking god!
There's currently 25,000.
A million cases in the U.S.
Yeah, there's in Minnesota alone, there's currently 25,000 people who have it.
Did it rose to a fucking million? The other day I looked up and it was getting near 600,000. Now it's a million and almost 1,200,000.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a real fun time in the U.S. I said that very flippantly. I mean, it'd be, I don't know, man. It's just like you have all those people like gathered in one area, and like if it's peaceful protesting, then you would you would imagine that like they're aware enough to like keep like distance. But the moment like police officers are like shooting like tear gas and stuff at them, like they don't have a choice but to group together because they're running, like arguably for their lives, because tear gas and fucking rubber bullets. Like you can die from a rubber bullet if it hits you in the right spot.
Yeah,
it's oh my god, dude. I won't be surprised because like if he's done like fucking martial law, then
there's
force like what I can see happening is like because he's declared martial law, you're gonna get like people who and like not even with martial law, the fact that he's like just threw in a random like Second Amendment, like randomly mentioned the Second Amendment, you're gonna see like all like the white supremacists get like fucking rallied together. It's going to be a civil war, or at the very least like a race war. Or I should rephrase that: a very visible race war, because there are people that definitely want the race war, and Trump apparently doesn't care. People know that he's one of them. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, imagine whenever all of this is over, which I don't think is going to be soon. I mean, the protest and all that stuff. Then, with all the looters and the arson and the shit, then you'll have to, of course, do something about that, right? So, you have the protests, then you have fixing the infrastructure that was damaged and ruined in the protests. And people don't forget, right? Even when a protest is over, there's still going to be that rampage of people that still says something about it, even when the movement is over. So now you have the protests, the damaged infrastructure, the angry mass of people. Then you have the dumb people that is always there everywhere looking for that sip of gold when shit goes down, and they just want to take advantage of it and do shit, like the looters and all that stuff. Well, now you have those type of people that are going to take advantage of all the situation that already happened to do their shit. And then you have the coronavirus that is also doing its own shit, and it's not getting down in the US, it's actually increasing exponentially. So you have around 5 big things that will damage the country in the ways of political, in the ways of community, in the ways of social, in the ways of everything. And I don't think that the imbecile that they have as a president right now will be able to do anything about it, anything senseful, at least.
I think he's doing what he can, which is like, fucking obliterating as many people as he can. I think he's doing exactly what he intends to. Just I don't know, man. It's unfortunate that they had to vote in a white supremacist after their first black president. It was like too much change too quickly, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you know what we should do? Fucking burn this shit to the ground."
Yep.
Although I kind of wonder to like what degree the coronavirus actually kind of played into this, because I don't know if it would be nearly. I mean, it's bad. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think the protesting would be nearly as bad if people hadn't been quarantined for like 3 to 4 months beforehand. Like if people were like out and about like their normal everyday lives, I don't think they'd be out in the streets, because like consider like everyone is like fucking either laid off or furloughed, or they just don't have a job right now, so they have a lot of free time. And so now they're all going to the streets, and so you get these things like it's like all over the place. Like back when, you know, the healthy days of not coronavirus, before the plague, when that, oh my god, where was it? Nothing Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan was something else. But like any other time, the police killed a black man, like it would be very like contained. It would be done within like a few weeks. It was very like this is this, and now it's done. And I understand I'm oversimplifying it like to a horrible degree. But like I wonder if it's because people were just like cooped up in their house and just like with like a lot of energy and a lot of like already existing frustrations that were more than like prevalent in their current lives. I wonder if like that played a part in how bad these protests have been.
I mean, maybe.
I would put good money on that, because I think one of the reasons why people don't protest on the regular is because like they have jobs. Like you can't just quit your, like, protesting doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
It's like that's the unfortunate reality, right? But like what is it, like 1 in 4? Is it 1 in 4 people is in the States is now unemployed? Is that the stat? It's like it's remarkably.
I can find out.
It's remarkably high, right? So like, yeah, you're probably right. Like these people are like, well, I don't gotta call in sick tomorrow to do this because fucking the country has called in sick. You know, the country has called in sick for like a couple months now. So that's, yeah. So now people don't have to worry about, you know, getting fired for not going into work. And I think it's,
I mean, this is back in May, but apparently like back in May there was like 6.6 million people that were unemployed. So
there's how much?
Actually, at the start of April, there was a peak of 6.6 million people at the start of April who were unemployed. But I mean, apparently, like the unemployment is worse than like, well, not worse, but it's like comparable to like the Great Depression.
Shit.
So it's a lot of people who are home with a lot of time and a lot of frustrations, and they are just like they're letting their frustrations be known one way or another. And it's really like it's, I think, necessary, but at the same time really unfortunate that it had to like boil down to a man being murdered and then a buffoon sicking the army on the citizens. It's just, I don't know, man. It's interesting to watch it. I would hate to be a part of it because it seems genuinely terrifying to be a part of. But like, I don't know, man. It's hopefully, I mean, it's without a doubt, it's going to be like a horrible stain on history, but hopefully it's like a learning moment and not a, maybe we should double down on our fucking erroneous, out of date beliefs. Because it's not, you know, it's not 1820, it's 2020. But
yeah,
I mean, with any luck, something good comes out of it. But
yeah, hopefully eventually, you know, hopefully this becomes like a catalyst for change.
yeah,
but
I mean, hopefully it doesn't become like the fucking Hunger Games and shit. Like, I'm hoping like maybe the Purge. Maybe. But other than that, like, I hope it doesn't get any like
maybe
for like 24 hours and they're like, okay, we're done, it's out of our system, let's go home now. But like, I don't know, man, with like the coronavirus, it's gonna be like if the military were to open fire and it would be a civil war, I can't expect even if it's like a peaceful. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna assume the best. I'm gonna assume the best because the worst is like legitimately the worst fucking situation. Like the best situation is like the military come in, or better yet, the military refuses to like be mobilized because they're like, we get what they're saying. We protect the country so they can, like, we fight for the rights they're practicing. Then you're like, that's what the military says. I mean, there have been generals in the past who have outright refused to follow Trump's orders, because it was just a better judgment call. But then you're like, that happens. The riots continue for a little while, and then fucking the infection rate spikes because fucking protests and riots. That's the best case scenario. That's still pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is that it's a full blown civil war and people are still fucking sick and dying with the coronavirus and being shot at. Because you can fully expect there to be like fucking like people dying on all sides. It's horrifying, dude. It's great to be, and I realize I say great very, very facetiously, but I mean it's I don't know. It's like the most fucking, to watch it happen, like if it wasn't for the fact that like I have the luxury of not being there, it's the coolest thing in the world because you're watching history happen. You are genuinely watching history happen. It's not like the LA riots where you like learn about it maybe in school, or like you just hear about it. Like it's real time fucking history being made, and that's the cool part about it. The unfortunate part about it is the fact that it's history being made for the like completely horrible trash reasons.
Yeah, it's definitely it's exciting, but like not necessarily like in a good way. I mean, like I can it's I don't know. It's like going on Twitter and like being able to like see like people like talk about, like, I mean, like you said, like history being made, like you're watching all these conversations happen, and people are acting, people are talking, and like there's like the potential of like a paradigm shift, in this whole thing. And yeah, exactly like you said, history is being made, but it makes me feel very anxious.
I think that's usually what happens when history is fucking being like changed. It's like history's being changed. Like when history is like, here's the thing, like with any luck, there's like huge sweeping reforms across the board, and like instead of like the U.S. slowly becoming like a fucking like super antagonistic ethno state, it becomes like an example of what not to do. And it learns from that example of what not to do and becomes a little bit better. But on the bright side, there is no revisionist version of history being made, because literally everybody's a historian right now. Everyone has like a phone. They're taking this stuff in real time. No one can edit that. People can like pretend that it can be edited, but like there's going to be like at least a million different versions of what's happening, and most of those versions are going to be identical. So we're going to know exactly what happened, how it happened, and what resulted from it. So I think that's kind of cool. If there's anything to like be pulled out of it, that the dumpster fire that is the United States right now, I think it's that. But it's still horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, It'll last and it'll stay, but maybe not in the good way we would expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, with any
Hopefully
luck,
in the good way, right? But well,
I mean,
with all the shit that's happening.
Yeah, with any luck, like there's an actual like lesson learned, and that lesson is not maybe we should have the military police our streets, which is what Donald Trump seems to believe is the fucking necessary thing to do.
Yeah,
but
it's like you want to like it doesn't like it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not the president of the United States. What the fuck do I know? But to me, it just seems
you probably know a little bit more. Let's be honest.
That's unfortunate.
Can I? I'll quiz you. So, what do you do if someone murders somebody?
See, this is hard. This is a tricky question. I feel like this might be a trick question. However, I would say if you murder someone, you put that person in jail.
Okay, you're officially better than the president. Okay, question number 2. If people are rioting against a facet of the system that works against them while it's supposed to work for them, do you call the military?
Should I call the military? So
and I mean, I should clarify, not for a really banging conga line, for like to like fucking like knock some heads in.
So if the people have an issue,
carry the 2.
Carry the 2. Then an issue with police violence. Do I bring in an even stronger force of authority to enact intentional and calculated violence? I'm probably gonna say no.
There you go. So, if you were American, you officially have more mental acumen than the current U.S. president. And congratulations, you have passed the human test.
Damn, that's rad.
Which by the way, is a fucking super awesome video series by Zay Frank. Hang on.
The human test? Human benchmark. What the fuck is this? Oh, Zay Frank. Cool. Subscribe to that.
But no, because like every news report you see, there's like something burning in the background. Every report you see, it's a little terrifying. And like any video you watch of like the current riots, and like you compare it to like the LA riots, they're horrifyingly similar. Like it's uncanny how similar they are.
Yeah, it's like a copy of the other one, but different buildings.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
And it didn't have to come to this. Like, you know, like this isn't like a new phenomena. Like, case in point, the LA riots. You know, the LA riots were, Jesus, man, like
created by the same thing, by someone who just happened to have like a 50-pound camcorder and he was watching a black man be beaten,
mercilessly beaten.
Yeah,
it was awful. Like, man, look at the pictures of him after. He's all like, he's like beaten to shit, and it's you know, and it's horrifying. And like, and the thing is, like, those guys got exonerated. And like, I don't know how you can look at something like that and go, oh yeah, yeah, they didn't do anything
It's a
wrong.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a it's a Tuesday.
Which I mean, I guess for for the police and for black people, it definitely would be a Tuesday. Because like I imagine for the longest time, people were like, no, this definitely happens, and like no one would believe them until it was like proven that this shit genuinely happens.
Yeah.
Which now
God.
it's like a weird like commonly known thing, but for some reason people still aren't against it. I don't know. I mean, clearly people are against it, but sometimes I wonder. It's very like, I don't know, man. It's an interesting time to be alive. It's also a very unfortunate time to be alive. I would much prefer to be born after this.
God, yeah.
Like once this is all done, like once like the plague is over, once like fucking the U.S. has like kind of like burned down to embers, we kind of see what happens from there. But I mean, oof, what a trip! What a trip this is becoming. It's. I can't get over the fact that he's like fucking just deploying the military.
I didn't think he, you know what? I didn't think he had it in him, quite frankly. I know he's done some pretty fucked up things in the past, but like I didn't think that he would actually, which is I guess the theme of the Trump administration is I didn't think he would actually fill in the blank. Like I knew he was bad, but like this is some next level shit. I mean, and it's like you ever see? So do you remember that episode of The Simpsons?
I have never watched The Simpsons. I'll be honest. I watched like a handful of episodes and that's it. So seriously, batting 1,000 here. Go ahead.
That's newsworthy in and of itself. Okay, so there's
I have taste. Sorry.
There's got him. Got who? I don't know. So there's this one episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns, very obviously Mr. Burns, a billionaire, an evil billionaire, aka a billionaire. He goes to the doctor, and he gets like tested for all these viruses, or for all these diseases, and the doctor's like, well, here's the thing, you have like all the viruses, and like he uses an analogy. He has like a bunch of like these little toy viruses, these little like soft plushy viruses, and he's like, this is basically your body. And he opens up like a small, like a very miniature door, and he tries to push all the viruses through, but like they just can't. They all get like stuck in the doorway. And like to me, that is like every act of like bullshit that like Trump has done. It's like they're all trying to like get to the forefront at once. It's like coronavirus, martial law,
Second Amendment rights.
Second Amendment rights. Fucking immigrant children in cages at the border, which is, fun fact, still a thing.
Yeah, and they still can't find their parents.
And it's just like all these things, just like trying to get through that door, trying to push through that door, trying to get to the forefront, and it's like that has been the theme. That's been the theme of the Trump administration.
I think.
Yes, I mean it's pretty much saying everything that could mean something without actually knowing what it means. Just spreading whatever might work and hoping it does something, even though it doesn't matter or it's not the time to say it. But I mean, if it works magically, well, I did something right?
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah,
just say anything and everything and hope one of them bangs on the nail.
Yeah, like even a stopped clock is right twice a day, right? So like, yeah, I could agree to that. Yeah, I feel like it sounds like he's just trying everything and seeing what sticks, you know. But the issue is that he's trying the worst fucking things. You know, where it's like, boy, boy, how about that? How about that Islamic terrorism? That's definitely a problem. It's like it's not really that big of a problem, Mr. Trump. It's like, what's that? It's not that big of a problem, but it is a problem, right? Well, we'll just stop them all from coming over. Okay, all right, but that's okay. That's not how that works, but sure. You know, like, and then it's like, oh, migrants coming in and causing a bunch of crimes. It happens all over Europe, and it's like, excuse me, Mr. Trump, that's not quite true. That's not really how that works. And it's like, not quite true. Okay, get the cages. Pence.
Get the cages, which they did.
It's like get off the phone with mother. Pence, we're gonna be locking up these kids in cages. Like, fucking, I don't know. It's just like it's a shit show. Yeah, it's just a fucking shit show. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Just, man, it's weird, man.
Apparently the National Guard. Holy Jesus, I can't believe this is a real fucking thing. Reports coming in that the National Guard has Humvees with 50 caliber mounted turrets at City Hall in DTLA. I don't know what that means.
Downtown.
Oh, okay. Oh, downtown. Oh, yeah. They just muzzle swept the crowd with a fucking 50 cal turret and threatened to arrest anyone still on site after curfew. So that's cool. I don't know.
I'm so glad I'm not there, dude.
I don't know what 50 caliber. I don't know what you need a 50 caliber turret for.
You know, the protesters who showed up in tanks. That's what they do, right? To protect themselves from the coronavirus, they like showed up in like fucking armored cars and tanks. That's what I would do. You can never be too safe.
You can't die of the coronavirus
if half your body evaporates from a giant bullet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just blow your chest open.
Ugh.
Like, those are like, Jesus, those are 50 caliber. 50 caliber is like, what would you even need 50 caliber? Like,
let's find out. I'm gonna find out.
With all of the information we have out there about like what a fucking assault rifle does to your body, like an assault rifle bullet does to your body.
Let's see here.
I should be looking this up in.
Can you survive a 50 caliber bullet?
Probably not. I mean,
well, nope. Yes, it says right here this will basically liquefy the enemy it hits as the energy travels through. Okay, well, you're not gonna fucking survive it. It's just.
Ooh.
And as we all know, protesters are just
that is huge,
destroying
dude.
everything, and they need to die by being liquefied by a 50 millimeters bullet.
Power.
I mean, even still, that's like, even a rubber bullet. So I'm on Twitter. Go figure. When am I not? Black Sacramento teen recovered after being shot in the face. Oh, I thought it said died. Okay, thank fucking God. Black Sacramento teen recovered after being shot in the face with a rubber bullet. Now, you've seen the size of these rubber bullets, right?
No.
So when I say a rubber bullet, what do you think?
I'm imagining like a regular like 9mm bullet just made out of rubber, which I imagine is going to really hurt.
Right. So I'm going to put this up in.
I should say, as someone who's never been shot, I imagine it. I mean, I imagine being shot hurts, but you know.
I'm going to put this up in our Discord. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Fucking, can I just copy and paste this picture? Jeez. Let me just copy and paste the link. That's what it looks like.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
That's
What?
That's.
That's a rubber bullet, y'all.
Oh my
that's
god, dude.
That's fucking huge. Here, let me, for the 5 viewers that we have, I'll throw up this link in here so people can see.
I'll throw up the link. I have links blocked in the channel.
Do you? Because I just put it up.
It doesn't show.
Oh, word? Cool. I'll send here.
Oh, the
I'll
link?
send you the.
Yeah, already.
Okay. Well, I also sent you a link to like the tweets as well. So it's pretty yeah, it's pretty nuts.
That's not even a bullet. That's like a mortar.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, that's a fucking grenade, homie.
It's a fucking torpedo.
God.
I don't know if it's a huge bullet or a tiny torpedo.
I like the wording of the tweet.
Thing is,
these hoe ass police officers. That's not what I wanted to do. Copy. That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, so why in the fuck do you need like a 50 cal rifle? Bro, people are getting blind, getting shot in the face with those things.
You can die from being shot in the face with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's fucked, man. You can kill people with those things. So like, bro, like, what's the 50 cal for? Like, hell, even if you had fucking assault rifles and shit, man, like,
I'm gonna make an assumption, and I'm gonna say they have like rubber bullets on belts, like they have bullets on belts, and I'm gonna make the assumption that when they feel it's necessary, they're just gonna open fire on the protesters. If there's too many to like arrest all at once, that's what they're going to do. And that seems like terrifying and unnecessary.
Yeah, it's I guess I get why they would think to use it, but like I don't know, man. Like these guys are like fucking armed to the teeth. You know, shit makes no sense, man. Like,
I think the idea is at least you're not killing them.
The idea, right? Yeah.
I think
it's like, well,
idea.
these aren't real bullets, air quotes, you know.
The heavy
these
wink.
are wink wink. These won't hurt that much. Wink wink. It's like Commissioner Johnson. I don't think you're supposed to actually say wink when you say that. It's like, oh, sorry. Wink.
Fucking like rubs his hand together and starts like cackling.
We'll show.
We'll show them. You don't survive.
You'll survive in hell. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, all right, buddy.
Could at least be more subtle.
Yeah. He's like, all right, now get out there and, you know, step on some necks. It's like, fucking jeez.
That is the problem. That's kind of that's what started this. Although I do wonder, and I've heard of this before, but I don't know how true or accurate this is. But there is a belief that if it had been if the police officer had been arrested sooner, there's probably a good chance that like none of this would have been as bad. But I don't know about that. I think people. I'm gonna say this, and I'm going to fucking sound terrible. So I understand how terrible this is going to sound, but I think people just wanted a reason to get out of the house, and this is one of those reasons. And it's just kind of it's getting progressively worse, because I think like typically a president will like come out and he'll give like those like empty platitudes of yeah, this is bad. As a country, we can do better. We should do better. And we should champion for reforms, and then those reforms don't happen. But at least like a president in the past would be like, okay, this is clearly bad. We understand your suffering. We're going to do what we can. Those usual empty platitudes, typically are enough for most people, but not this time. Those empty platitudes go, or we're pretty much go home or we'll shoot you, and people are like, yeah, well, I mean, it's either this or the coronavirus.
That's honestly, yeah. That's the whole. It's a whole system of fuckery, and I've been explaining this. I've been explaining this to some friends of mine who have started getting more into politics. I've been shit. I don't need to explain it to you. Like we did a fucking all three of us did a whole presentation on the hate you give.
Yeah. Actually,
right? Like
a pretty good book, actually.
Yeah, it was a great
worth the read. Worth the read. I don't usually like young adult novels, but that was actually pretty solid.
Oh yeah, it was it was very illuminating.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't need to explain to you, but like that whole book, just like illustrates like how the system is how the system is built to fuck people. Like like the prison industrial complex, like people like private businesses, prisons being private businesses, I should say, or privately owned rather. So like there's like profit in arresting African Americans. There's profit in keeping people in prison. And when you arrest people, particularly when you arrest people on felony charges, at least, I think if you have like a felony, like if you have a single felony charge, like I think you can't vote.
I think that's how that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what you do is you
control the population.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. You control the population with like by arresting people, by just straight up killing people. When you kill people, you disrupt their families, which like can potentially affect like how they, if they succeed in life, like you take away someone has two parents, you just suddenly take one away, and then it's like that can fuck up a person, and it's like, yeah, it's just a whole system of fuckery. It's a whole system of bullshit that's going on, right? It's like, it just I don't know, man, it sucks. It needs like a massive overhaul. Oh, my friend is asking me about My friend is asking me about the young woman in Toronto who died in High Park, in the High Park neighborhood.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've heard that her mother said the police actually had nothing to do with it. Because I think at first she said that they had killed her, but then she retracted that statement. I don't know how accurate any of that is.
They interviewed the family. They interviewed 4 people in the family, and they interviewed 6 police officers. Said there was a knife involved, but the family said there was no assault underway or knife present when they arrived. I'm
going to post this in the Twitch chat, but I find this very, very interesting and very telling of how accurate and how true certain things are.
Yeah,
there's certainly no predominant narrative for certain things.
Here, let me throw this article. I just found this one.
Not gonna lie, a sudden white screen hurts the eyes a lot. Yeah, I think I've read this.
Okay. Michigan was called a protest. Minnesota was called a riot. Yeah.
Yeah. The difference being, one was trying to take away the rights of people. The other one was trying to give rights to people. But just, I don't know, man. It's fucking. It's crazy.
Let me see.
It is pretty fucked up, yeah.
David, I forgot. Are you this is apropos of nothing. Are you here now, or are you still back home?
The borders are closed.
Yeah.
Yo, for real? I had no idea.
Yeah, the borders have been closed since I would say the beginning of April.
Oh, just straight holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, that's how you do it.
It is one way of doing it, yeah.
They should have closed the border to the States before any of the other countries. But
there's another wonderful hashtag because of how he reacted to peaceful protest outside of the White House, which included him hiding in a bunker, and again, peaceful protest, because there were actually reporters there who were there's nothing going on here, and the Secret Service and police fucking gassed them out. New hashtag bunker boy is trending quite a bit.
Jeez. Yeah, that's not surprising. Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, he's taking pictures at a church holding up a Bible.
Man, that's a lot of people. Yo. Hold on. No, I don't want that. I'm gonna grab this and send this to you. There's a lot of people arrested. All in one place.
This is some extreme shit, dude.
Man, that thread is full of some crazy bullshit. Police and the National Guard are blocking people from leaving, forcing them to stay out until after curfew so they can be arrested. Like,
that's some shady shit if that's accurate.
Yeah,
My God.
it's fuck. I don't know. This is bonkers. And then people wonder why they don't trust the fucking police.
It's like there are some people who are like showing that like the police are actually like because like there's like a whole like where at the intersection where he was killed. Apparently there's like a whole like shrine dedicated to like his memory. And it's like a bunch of like flowers and whatnot. And apparently like there are also like certain members of police who like went up like without like hats or like anything, like that's not respect, and they literally like took a knee like where it was, and they were like, this should never have happened. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's I would say there's enough of them to make this look horrible. Like for example, the ones that are like fucking shooting tear gas and like fucking promoting a fucking like military state and enabling what's effectively the first dictator of the U.S. But I mean, some of them are kind of like doing at least what looks like the right thing. I don't know if it's like a sincere thing, but like this is brutal, dude. Like I understand I'm holding the peace, but peace for who? It's
there's like a difference between like peace and just straight up abuse. Like this is like this is some crazy shit.
Yeah. You don't get the middle of it. It's all either looters and shit destroying everything or police brutalizing and hitting everybody. You don't get any police and people doing it right. You just get both sides that are shit.
That reminded me. I don't know how that reminded me, but so apparently, George Floyd's brother, gave like a small speech, and he was literally like, "Don't fucking like loot. Don't like do it peacefully. Do this peacefully, because like you lose them. Like the message loses all meaning if we do exactly what they think we're going to do." Because it just like he's like don't fucking loot, don't destroy the place, don't set the shit on fire, because it loses the point. Like they won't listen.
Yeah.
If you give them reason not to listen,
they won't just don't listen. They will use that as an excuse to justify the violence and whatnot. Because if looters are violent, then that gives the police the reason to be violent as well, and that just misses everything else and destroys everything else.
How many cities is the riots happening in?
It's like it's easy. This is the thing with these riots and like all the looting and whatnot. Like the rioting and the property damage. Like I don't condone it, but I get it. You know,
Yeah.
like I get like how it happens because like people are angry, right? Like all it takes is like one fucking canister of tear gas to like rile up everybody, you know. The looting, like I can understand it to a lesser degree. Like I don't quite get it as much. Now, not being a hardcore capitalist, seeing a Target get looted, while I don't condone it, I am not losing sleep over it. But hot takes aside, I just think looting in principle is like kind of not great. Like maybe if you're looting for like supplies to like water and stuff like this, you're looting for things um for the protest, which theft is theft, but like I could like kind of see it maybe. Um but in principle, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know that I agree with it. I'm not like I find it hard to personally condemn it. It's not really my place.
Like, I think as long as like you're not like, see, if it's like a big business, whatever, dude. If your employees can fucking need food stamps while you fucking buy a private island, you can afford to have your fucking building smashed. The downside, I think, to that would be the fact that for people to like repair it, you have to have like if it's burned to the ground, all of a sudden people that have a job no longer have their job. So I don't know if I'm kind of split. Like, I can understand the kind of fuck you to like fucking billionaires who don't give a shit about the people under them, but I can also understand like the 9-to-5er who the difference between them and a paycheck is someone torching their place of work, regardless if it's like their own like mom and pop shop or like fucking Target. So I'm definitely not for it. But it just, I don't know, man. I understand it, but it just I don't know if like burning down like a fucking building is productive. I don't think it's productive. It to me it seems counterproductive, simply because the idea is because the whole idea is to promote equality. I mean, I guess that's the general overarching like thing. It's like everyone should be treated the same, which means like kind of having like a closer eye on like socioeconomic things. But I don't think destroying people's livelihoods coincides with that idea, which is why I'm for protesting. Protesting is the voice of the unheard, but I don't know about rioting and looting, because it can definitely be unnecessarily destructive.
Yeah, it's the same with the police. Like, if you're the cops and you kill someone in a peaceful protest, and you have a murder, and that's never good for the image, because then that person who got shot will be used to even more ascertain the point that they were trying to make. So from the side of the police, it doesn't make sense to be violent, and of course it doesn't make any sense to kill or injure someone. And then from the side of the protesters, and it doesn't make sense to destroy everything, because that gives the government and the police and everyone a reason to be violent, which is the thing that they are trying to avoid, right? They're protesting against violence and against racism. But if you got a lot of people looting and a lot of people destroying property, then that'll just give the authorities the right. I mean, it's not a right, but the right to say, well, they're doing it, so now I gotta enforce the law and do it as well. And that will just become a vicious cycle of police being violent and brutal, and protesters being looters and criminals, which will increase police being brutal, and by police being brutal, it will enrage people more and make them be criminal even worse and worse until it's just a cycle of destruction and things that will never get resolved because nothing is being resolved. It's not changing. It's just crime and police brutality, and that's it. There's nothing else.
So unrelated, but apparently, in the U.S., burning the flag is not illegal. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this. Apparently, it falls under the free speech thing. However, apparently, Trump wants to change that.
Yeah.
He's also called governors. Where is it? Just I'm like skimming through stuff. I should read it more closely. I think during like his governor, like while talking to like governors and whatnot, he said most of you are weak. You have to arrest people. I don't know, man. He's
Of course you do. Like, why wouldn't you? Fuck's sake.
That's his whole. That's his whole shtick, you know. He's the big tough man who wants to, bully people into doing what he wants, even his own populace.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know if you've ever heard this, and considering everything he's done, it's not shocking. But according to like one of his ex-wives, he actually like would keep like a book of like all of Hitler's speeches at his bedside because he thought Hitler was a strong talker.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Let me see if let me see if there's any validity to that, because I don't want to like say something that has like that's just like speculative, because that's, I mean, unless I say it's like speculative, that's what I've heard. Let me see here. Trump Hitler book. That's my search. That's my search. Oh, okay. Apparently that's actually a thing. So according to the Independent, although I don't know how much I trust certain things. Oh. Okay, well, he's actually admitted to owning like Mein Kampf, which is,
as you do.
My New Order, a favorite bug of Trump's. I'm trying to find like an actual like kind of. Okay, Business Insider is pretty like, on the ball, I assume.
Yeah.
I found one from Business Insider. According to 1990 Vanity Fair interview, Ivana Trump once told her lawyer Michael Kennedy that her husband, real estate mogul Donald Trump, now a leading innocent times, now a leading Republican presidential candidate, kept a book of Hitler speeches near his bed.
Boy, if that wasn't the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. Gee, oh my God, the parallels are a little bit terrifying. This is a quote from like another person who a professor from Idaho State University about Hitler. Although I feel like I should have not said that and just kind of like threw this out and be like, guess who this is about? And you'd be like, I don't know, Trevor. But so this is a quote. People were most willing to follow him because he seemed to have the right answers in a time of enormous economic upheaval. I
actually forgot who you were talking about. That's
that's a comment about Hitler. but you can probably understand why you can be confused.
Yeah, I would have said Hitler, and looking back, I probably should have said Trump too.
You could easily say Trump because that's what he's been doing. Whew.
It is this year has been a
Shit
repeating
show.
shit show.
It's the longest century ever, dude.
Yeah,
This
can't-
2020 is fucking.
can't believe 2019 was 10 years ago. Fuck.
Oh
Ooh, boy.
my! So I'm reading. So I just found something from the Cambridge University, and the title, whew, an American Führer, Nazi analogies in the struggle to explain Donald Trump. Whoa.
Boy, howdy.
Oh man, that was back in. Actually, that was 2009. Never mind. I was like, they're being prophetic, but they're not. Foreignpolicy.com. Don't call Donald Trump a fascist. Hard to do now. The Atlantic.
I don't know that it was. I don't know that it was hard to.
Oh yeah. It's horrifying, dude. He's done more than just threaten fucking military. He's like made. Hang on, I'm going back to Twitter for a second. I like how Joe Biden is like fucking like taking the time to like be like, yo, vote this man out, vote for me instead. He's using the military against the American people. He tear gassed peaceful protesters and fired rubber bullets for a photo. That's actually kind of true, though. You need to do that.
Sorry. Forgot to mute my mic when I did that. I have a button that mutes my mic, and I forgot to hit it. I used the tilde key, that is the key next to the one button, because who the fuck uses that key? The little squiggly line. I use that to mute my mic. So what are we talking about before I very obnoxiously yawned? Oh, Trump being a piece of shit. That's right. It's shocking the lengths that this guy will go to, like, just be a piece of shit. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. Like, his ego is so, like, fragile, like a fragile little snowflake, if you would. Like, this is mind-boggling, man. Like, I can't believe people willingly put this guy into this position.
I mean, the popular vote sure didn't.
Oh, I was gonna talk about Biden. I love how now. So, how do I phrase this without upsetting our 4 viewers, 3 of which are likely us. One of whom might be a bot. Who knows?
Yeah, it's more than likely. You're probably more accurate than you think.
I can couldn't believe it. I like how Biden, like, I think it was last year. It was last year or maybe early this year. It's hard to tell because last year was like 10 years ago. Where Biden was like getting into it with like some like union representatives, like a construction workers union or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, are you going to look out for us?" No. They were criticizing his some of his policy positions. And then this man, the presidential frontrunner for the Democrats, when confronted with questions about his policy position, said, "Well, if you don't like it, you can go vote for Trump." And in the back of my mind, and it's not an isolated incident. Like there are several like events. He's done this several times. Where it's like, well, if you don't like it, don't vote for me, or vote for Trump, or something like that. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like,
strong backhand.
How old and senile are you, my guy? Like, he's not doing it now because the world is, because America is currently in the middle of a second civil war, as we've already established. But it's like, bro, don't fucking tell people to go vote for the competition. That's fucking dumb. Like, what are you doing? Because they will. They fucking will.
I wonder. This is a horrifying thought that came to my mind. I don't mean to interrupt you. But I do wonder, if it does turn into like a civil war, I wonder. I know what the sides would be. It's going to be the racists against everyone else. I understand that. The Civil War will likely be exactly a race war, but I wonder, like, because I can imagine other countries like intervening to some degree or just watching it burn. I hope they watch it burn because we don't need a world war. But if other countries intervene, I kind of wonder like which countries would go on which side. Because like there's like a certain degree that you kind of have to go, well, maybe we shouldn't fucking, maybe we should just like watch this shit happen.
I mean, since Trump pretty much started leaving countries and saying that they're useless because the United States is the only country that's worth it, I guess not many will take the US side or support it or whatever shit if it comes.
I think that Trump has burned a lot of bridges. I think you're right. I think he's understatement of the decade.
All 2020 of it, yeah.
So yeah, he's certainly burned a lot of bridges. So like I can't imagine any countries will intervene on Trump's behalf, because like all the ones he's like buddy with are like kind of shitty. I mean, like oddly buddy with Russia, like really oddly. Apparently he voted or he did. I think he unilaterally put Russia back in the G7.
Yeah, he wants to do that, but everyone's like, no, we're not doing that.
I don't know if he can do that. Hold
on. I
think
he's wanted, like, I know that he suggested it, and like Trudeau was like, we're not doing that. We're not making the G6 the G7 because Russia is like fucking so
amazingly corrupt. See, we lost a viewer. We lost a viewer. It's probably a Russian bot. Really pissed off.
But so apparently, I'm seeing this now. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but the Minnesota governor is saying that he refuses to mobilize the troops on civilians.
Yeah, good. That's
because I mean,
it's the first step in doing something good, I guess. That's a hard position to be put in. Like, do you like throw your do you throw your police officers under the bus? You know, do you like side with the police officer? Like, do you admit fault or you don't admit fault?
I don't know if it's. I think it's gone past the point of it being police officers against the people. I think it's become. I mean, it's kind of what it's always been. I think at this point it's becoming, just a clearly broken system against the people, and Trump is like the face of that broken system. Because, like, it's interesting. It's interesting. I say that very without the whole fucking usefulness of the word. I pin that to everything. But what's concerning, I should say instead, is apparently earlier today, Donald Trump took went for a photo op at a church where he's holding a Bible, and he's like the most fucking, like, he does not look religious at all. He looks fucking stern as shit.
No, I wouldn't imagine him looking religious at all.
No, but there's an interesting fucking trend between leaders and taking pictures of holding Holy Writ. Hitler did it. Saddam Hussein did it. And a bunch of other fucking dictators have done the same thing. So he's beginning to go fucking nuts with it, dude. It's just going. So it's you know, that's civil war, am I right?
Yoo-hoo, I think, or not. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, this is I don't know. It's nuts, man. I the worst part, I mean, like I said it earlier, but like I can definitely see him, this guy getting elected for a second term, even after all of this.
And he will, even though nobody wants it. But nobody wants it, and still everybody wants him.
Yeah, like it's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen again. Oh man.
Military helicopters are dispersing protesters in DC.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a military show of force. Oh dear. That's always a good sign.
Yep, pretty much it is.
Man, just gone. And it's only been 4 days for this protest.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is only day 4. Hang on.
Whoa. What?
What, you thought this was going on for longer?
Yeah, it's felt like a hell of a lot longer. Holy shit.
Hang on, let me find out for sure. I mean, it's let me see here. Timeline of the protests. It's either been 4 days or, well, I mean, I'm gonna say it probably has been 4 days because it only happened last Monday.
Jesus.
It's only been a week.
And it's still pretty raging fire. It's not like it's coming down. It seems that it's going to actually get worse.
Jeez, this is yeah. Oh yeah, it's ramping up. It's going to like 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the protest only began on Saturday.
On what?
Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I love this too. America's very lucky that black people want equality and not revenge.
I shouldn't laugh, but that's yeah. Yeah. Because oh my god. So, apparently 6 people have been killed during the protest.
Jesus Christ.
Hang on, what is this? Oh, this is as of today, as of noon today. So it's almost 12 hours old. Hang on. So, by Sunday morning, so yesterday morning, more than 345 people have been arrested. 33 police officers injured. 47 police vehicles damaged or destroyed. The mayor's daughter. So I'm looking at the New York Times. The daughter of the mayor of New York was among the arrested protesters. Which I mean, fucking awesome for her. Wait, when was the 26th? That was Friday. So yeah, the protests in Minneapolis began on the 26th. So that was last Friday. So today is day 4.
Damn. Day 4 of,
yeah,
you know.
So hang on, wait. May 25th. Really, that wasn't Thursday? I thought it was okay, yeah. No, Thursday he died. Thursday George Floyd dies, and then by the next day, that's when the protests began. That is very quick mobilization.
Yeah.
It's fucking 4 days, dude. And Trump is like, yeah, I can't handle this pressure. Fucking military helicopters.
Pretty much.
Now, in all, I don't want to. This is gonna be dangerous. This is some dangerous territory I'm treading in. The riots the protests are not like just in Minnesota, right? Minnesota.
No, they're across the U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
They have spread like oh geez,
By the second day,
there's a
they were like pretty much across the entire country.
they spread like a fuck. There's a word of something that spreads really quickly if not controlled, and it's escaping me right now.
A wildfire?
A virus?
So, yes. So, yeah. So, it's this is spreading really quick. Intent, like the intent of it aside, you know, they do have like the utmost like um best of intentions, which is great. But like because it's spreading so fast, like I can see why somebody in another, like if this were any other situation, it would be like, oh shit, this is a lot of people, you know, this is like
because it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
it's like this is a lot of people, this is a lot of chaos. I'm gonna need the military to rein it in. But like considering who it is, considering who like the president is, it's very clear he just doesn't fucking understand why these things are happening. He doesn't understand like the historical context behind all of this shit.
I think
he's just like,
I just think he's on one side of history. I think he's more than aware. I think he's just like, I don't know why they don't appreciate the fact that we brought them to civilization. I think that's his general opinion. We taught them how to read. I think that's like, I think that's kind of where he goes with that. I think he's very much. We took them out of mud huts and gave them homes. We put them to work. They should be grateful. I think that's like his general mentality. I think he's a full blown racist. He doesn't even hide it very well. He's a racist. When you fucking call a bunch of like white supremacists holding fucking assault rifles a bunch of good people, and then the moment like I don't even know why those dudes were like fucking protesting. I guess because fucking a black kid whistled at a white lady, maybe. But like this is like something that's been happening for fucking like hundreds of years, and only because we have the ability to see it in real time from multiple people. It's not even like alleged things happening. We're seeing identical things from different perspectives with like instant replays happening as they happen.
Even
so
this,
it's like
because
it's like
people streaming in Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Like, how can you not know these things? How can you like be kind of like willfully blind to like what's genuinely happening in the world? I don't think he's dumb. Don't get me wrong, he's dumb. But I don't think he's like I can't like, let me put it this way. He's stare at the sun during the eclipse kind of stupid, but I don't think he's like I don't understand race kind of stupid. Like I think I don't know, man. He's just fucking. He wants to be a dictator, and he's kind of getting his wish.
He's that wish is
not
like,
far away.
Because like the very first thing he did was wage war on the fucking media. Like media became like in his own words, public enemy number one, because all of a sudden all the dumb shit he was saying, everything that was wrong, all of a sudden they were like, actually this is what really happened. Like this is actually like the legit thing. It's like you're not seeing like people who are fighting for equality among all people driving their fucking cars into a group of white supremacists. You're not seeing that because that's not happening. Because you have one side that's like the not fighting on the basis of fucking subjugation and hate. Look, okay, you know what? I'm not a political person. Thank you for calling me out on that. Okay, look, I'll be honest. I typically am not a. Why isn't the chat thing working? I'm usually not a political person. I certainly try not to be. Oh, it is working. Never mind. But I mean, like, how of all times now, how can you like? It's not possible for it to go ignored. By the way, there's someone talking in chat. Yeah, fucking sounding alarms.
There's people.
Word. Oh, Paradigm Shift. That's a fucking apt name.
But no, I mean, it's hard not to pay attention to these things. And I don't. It's fucking like it's like to kind of wheel around on. To wheel around on a different on something I've mentioned before in regards to like the coronavirus and whether or not people believe it. I don't care if they believe it. They should, because it's fucking dumb not to. But to wheel back on a conversation I had like at least a month ago, I can be understanding in the idea that if I do not want something to happen to me, I can be reasonable in a conclusion that I might not want it to happen to someone else either. And I personally wouldn't want to be judged based on my skin, gender, or orientation, all of which work to my benefit, and I'm more than aware of that. But if they didn't, I know that I wouldn't want those things, so I can kind of reason that I don't want those things for other people. And following that, it seems like with a fucking lunatic at the head of a military who is overtly racist, and his entire fucking game plan was ultimate power, and it just so happened to be like the perfect storm of like a disease and something that's always been happening, and that disease making that thing that's always been happening 1,000 times worse, because all of a sudden anyone that's wanted to protest now can protest. And so all those things, I think, kind of I try not to be. But I mean, there are times where you kind of need to speak out against dumb shit, and this is definitely dumb shit. So I don't know. It's so dumb. It's like, how fucking hard can it be to go, hey, look, I understand we owned you at one point in history. That was a shitty point in history. And although I am not who my ancestors were, that is still something my ancestors did. And although I do not share the same sentiment, I think I'm going to also fight for your freedom as a way to not only apologize for their behavior, but to rectify the things that they've done to your ancestors as well. Because though the things that they did to your ancestors have carried in from 1820 to 2020, and those it makes sense to me. I don't know. That's my short I'm not political rant. Even though it was completely fucking political. Shut up.
Well, like the while I agree that's 1,000% what should happen, I think that requires like people admitting fault. To like, well, we just want to like sit here and pretend like racism just didn't happen. Racism, slavery is what I meant. 'Cause racism is still happening. Case in point, the world's currently on fire.
Certain parts of it.
Certain parts of it. So yeah, I think it just takes it takes a lot for like, at the very least, the government to be like, man, like collectively, like we really shit the bed, you know, treating people like property and then having them live among us and just not giving them reparations and having them fight for themselves while the rest of us, you know, reap the rewards of slavery, basically, you know.
Still
Where
winning
it's
those
like
40 acres and a mule. The glorious part of the American dream is you need to be asleep to it's like that was George Carlin, wasn't it? The truth about the American dream is you need to be asleep in order to believe it.
I hope so. That's a very Carlin sounding quote. That's brilliant. Fuck.
Let me double check. I like double checking. By the way, I should mention to the one person watching, thank you for watching, first of all. But second, thanks for coming back. That wasn't what I was going to say, but I did say it. So thank you for coming back. And the idea and the plan is to do this like not necessarily like super like fucking political shit. Unless it turns out that way, then I've become a political channel by accident.
Oopsie.
That's how you become a political channel. You don't choose it. You just become one.
I genuinely don't want to be a political channel.
It chooses you like Mjolnir.
Oh my god. That is God. But the plan for those watching is to do this once a week, I think. Did we agree on that, or am I just like making something up now?
Yeah. It was like one day a week where like we could get together and do this kind of stuff. We didn't settle on a day.
I don't think we agreed on a day, but yeah, it's a podcast. Yeah. Okay, so the actual George Carlin quote. I was right. It was George Carlin. So the actual quote is, the reason they call it the American dream is because you have to be asleep to believe it. It's not always going to be political topics, I think. I don't know where the conversation is going to go because I don't plan these things. That means I'm a good streamer. I'm not a good streamer. I just have really neato graphics.
Woo.
Although I have organized myself a little bit, so there is that.
We don't necessarily have to talk about politics
exclusively. All this is like breaking news. So our original plan was to do this next week. So this is like the Watchmen of podcasts right now. Inside joke. It's great.
That's Watchmen. Should have done the Watchmen.
That's a story for a different day.
Yeah.
We should have like failed that class, so we could have just done
the
a different. Could have done it next time.
Do the same presentation twice.
Oh, we should do that.
Decide to do the Watchmen, but we're like, okay, we failed the class, but that's okay. We'll do the Watchmen this time around, and we'll nail it. And it's like, hello guys, this is our book on child prostitution. And oh, by the way, this guy wrote Bambi.
I realize now that it was like super annoying for me to do, but I as I reflected on it afterwards, I was like, I said That was the same dude who wrote Bambi way too many times. Must have said it like every fucking sentence.
Well, because it's like, I mean, how can you not, right?
Yeah,
it's like
it's important to know that it was writer of Bambi. It's like the main point of it.
it's like, isn't it funny how this guy who wrote like a beloved story, which got adapted into a Disney movie, also just happened to write
The worst fucking smut book ever.
a pornographic novel
Yeah, pretty much.
starring child prostitutes. Isn't that wild? Majority female audience.
And we had one person walk out. Oh man.
Did they actually walk out? Who?
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta tell me in the chat. You gotta tell me. Like,
On
the DL,
super
if you remember.
secret. The super secret. Oh, you joined the Discord. Thank you. Someone did. I'm not entirely sure who, but I'm going to assume it was you.
Shift. Well, that's probably Paradigm Shift.
I'm going to assume it was. He's been very helpful. He's been a cool dude. I assume he's a dude. I don't know if he's an actual dude.
Yeah, but Paradigm Shift's the one who's always the.
I guess. But in the secret chat, I'm writing. I'm writing who walked out on the presentation because I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it. Talking about child orgies is not for everybody. It's not. I'll say this again. I did that as a joke. I didn't know you guys were gonna go with it.
I didn't know I was gonna do that either. Quite frankly, I didn't know I was gonna be like, yeah, fucking, let's scare the class with a story about child orgies.
That was chapter 3.
Okay. I am saying, I am putting this out there, right now, that if we do something like that again, we gotta do that book, that other book I showed you.
Oh, the one.
The one that is
written
read
by an actual Nazi, yeah.
And is read by, like, apparently has been read by a lot of mass shooters and, like, white supremacist terrorists.
Coincidentally, I imagine. I say coincidentally with with great sarcasm.
Oh yeah,
it's a coincidence. It's not related to it at all. I mean, how could it be? Doesn't make any sense.
Whoa.
What? Did you like spill something? What was that?
Nope. Here, I'm gonna send this link to you.
You can post it in general discussion, because there's or not, whatever.
Oh, in our general discussion, yeah, I'll post it in our general discussion so everybody can read it.
Oh my.
Yep. So, ICE detention centers are turning into pseudo gas chambers. So that's a thing that's happening right now.
Oh no.
Cool.
This has never happened in history before.
No, it doesn't ring any bells or anything.
Turning into no. So they were concentration camps before. Now they are straight up gas chambers.
Oh my God.
So they're spraying. There's
and who says we don't learn from history?
Here, I'll listen. Just read this headline. I'll put it up in the Twitch chat right now. Right, and you tell me what this means. You tell me what that means to you. Tell me that is not a fucking gas chamber.
The bleeding, burns, and pain. Yeah.
That's very.
Especially since it's disinfectant sprays.
That's very gas chamber-esque.
A little bit, yeah. Oh my god, dude.
So, yeah. So that's a thing. Remember the camps? Remember the concentration camps at the border? Remember that? Remember when
What
that
about
was a thing?
masks and soap? Oh
And-
my god. May 21st, guards have started spraying this chemical all over everything all the time. When I blow my nose, blood comes out. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. That quote does not get any better. They are treating us like animals. One person fainted and was taken out. I'm going to assume when they say taken out, they mean like removed, not like bullet in the head. Until I don't know what happened to them. There is no fresh air. Oh no. Oh my god.
I was wondering how that was going to shake down with COVID. Yeah, same. Because, like, you got to think, right? Like, these guys are like isolated. Like, these guys are like not in. It's like forced self-isolation, right?
Do you mean they're being concentrated in one place in particular?
Yeah.
And that they're camping out?
In a camp-like environment.
You could say a camp of concentration?
Oh, you can't say that. What the fuck?
There's got to be a pithier way to phrase that.
Death camp. I mean, oh my god, that's
silly.
That's
silly.
Like
where'd that come from?
Like a gulag? No wait.
Oh no, it's too warm. Too warm for a gulag. It's too warm for that. It's not a gulag. Oh my, just let's keep them in cages. That's normal behavior. Let's separate children from their families. Never done that before. Now let's fucking use chemicals to fucking burn their flesh and have blood come out of their noses.
So that's
don't try.
Bro,
I mean, it's not okay. It's one of two things. Either they're being experimented on, which again, you've never had a government experiment chemicals on a detained, a concentrated, if you will, population. That's never happened before. For the sake of like medical science, never happened. Hasn't happened. The Nazis did that. I mean, there's no parallels to be had here. That's so, God. I genuinely believe it's the fall of an empire, and they picked old vagina eyes for the poster boy. No kidding. That is cool, and I am so sorry.
Damn, man. Yeah, that's like glad the catchphrase is never forget. Yeah, fuck, man. They shouldn't. That shit was horrific, to put it mildly. I'm glad. Yeah, man. I'm glad they survived.
It's just, oh god.
It's man. I didn't before I hopped in on this. I was watching Philosophy Tube had he just put out a video on anti-Semitism, and I was in the middle of watching it. He was talking about like anti-Semitism throughout history. I'll put this in the Discord. I like sharing things.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, and like, and I have a viewer. Well, thank you for that. That's fucking awesome. Thanks for watching us ramble about. Here's a emoji of Trevor in sunglasses.
Hang on. That reminds me. There's actually no sunglasses. These have really small, beady eyes. I have to check something.
I put sunglasses on it because you have.
Oh yeah, that's right. I actually it's like an option.
It's rad.
Yeah. Let me find out if the. Let me see if there's a special surprise waiting for us all.
Oh no. I don't think it's going to be special.
Thinking, Trevor.
It's just going to be horrid.
It's fucking awesome. Shh.
Oh, do I have to unmute?
If it's not, if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna have to. Where the fuck is it? There it is. If it doesn't work, I'll just have to like show it because some of them are pending. Is this still pending? Yeah, it's still pending. So I'm gonna have a small interlude because I think this is fucking awesome. Would you, Mr. Shift, would you like to see my tier 3 emote to add some levity to this dreary evening? Because I think this is like a real fucking work of art.
Oh boy, here we go.
No. You've seen? Oh, that's right. I've shown it before. Okay. That's right. I have shown it before. So it's still impending. I put it at tier 3, so no one has to see it. But I think I think it's awesome. I debated making it this chat. The my Twitch my Twitch fucking avatar image thing. So you see that when you see my name in your follower list. Debated that, but I'm like, nah, I'm not that mean. But it is my favorite emote. All 2 of them. I'm not a monster. I'm just fucking. No, I'm not a monster. I'm not the one fucking unleashing a fucking military on peaceful protesters.
Yet.
Shh. That's not the point. Just I don't know, man. So just tells why would he tell them to dominate protesters? Like, are they just gonna go into like gimp suits? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they're going to get the whips out. And...
Sleep paralysis demon has a new face. You're welcome.
That is horrifying. If I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't move, and saw that, I would probably shit myself.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it. I imagine, unless you have a weird kink for that shit. Well,
the humor is one of these guys made both emotes, and when David was like, I made this, he was like, I'm pretty sure after doing some research on how this should look, I'm on some watch lists. And I'm like, okay. And then he showed it to me.
It's true.
And I was horrified. But I think I instantly fell in love with it because it was horrifying. And then he added the drool. And I was like, oh my god. That is magic. Oh yeah, no, it's very. Oh yeah, no, it's.
That's all the good things are.
That's why I thought it was a great idea. Let's see here, thousands. Oh, well, that's 14 hours ago. Is that really? I want like up to date stuff. I want to know what's like going on right now. 8 hours ago, world. So apparently he's like, so Trump is saying that he will personally deploy the military if states don't use the National Guard.
Oh boy.
My fellow Americans.
Yeah, I'll play this.
My first and
Does it have
highest
like a
duty
fishbowl
as
filled with
president
papers
is
that
to
he
defend
gets
our
out
great country
at random, and
and
each
the
paper tells him something more stupid to do the next time?
I think what he does is he wears a thinking hat, and the thinking hat is like it's as much a dunce cap as it is a white hood.
Oh, okay.
And I think that thinking hat is where he gets all of his ideas. So there's that. This is an hour ago.
But keep in mind, Anderson, and you're watching this video now of the president walking through Lafayette Park. You know, this is a park where the protesters have been lined up for days now, protesting against the death of George Floyd, and it was just completely emptied
That's
out.
a cool
It's just
headline.
extraordinary what was done here. And just to echo what Alex Marquardt was saying, you know, we've had this discussion over the last couple of hours of the president potentially using the Insurrection Act of 1807 to help quell a domestic disturbance. That's not what occurred here. They were used to create a photo opportunity for the president so he could hold up a Bible.
Jim, this photo opportunity, he didn't even know what to do once he got there. This thing was so badly thought out.
This was ham-handed, no question about it. This was bad reality television. This wasn't even good reality television. And the sad state of affairs that we're dealing with tonight in the nation's capital, Anderson, is that we have now witnessed the President of the United States operating outside the bounds of U.S. law and the tradition of what we know to be our democracy, which is the United States government does not use the military against civilians in this country unless there's a damn good reason. And this just wasn't a damn good reason. And all we ended up with was what the President of the United States looking like a wannabe dictator.
Right.
So he can walk over to a church
that.
and pretend to be concerned about the church. It's just a sad unbelievable thing.
It's like in some small country that's taken over by some low-level lieutenant, low-level colonel who gets on the airwaves, declares himself a law and order president, and then, has a big show of a photo op, but there's no there because the church is closed, and he's just standing there with the Bible. What is the defense secretary? What is Barr doing? What's the attorney general doing? Walking over with this? Why is there a uniformed military person walking behind the president, going over there like it's this mob?
It's a very good question, Anderson. And the Defense Secretary, Mark Esper, was talking about this earlier today and talking about these protests as battle spaces, as if the people in these areas protesting are enemy targets. They're not. They're American citizens. Right. And on top of that, you asked about the Attorney General. I snapped a picture of the president walking out with Jared and Ivanka and all of these officials. And Bill Barr, the U.S. Attorney General, had a big smile on his face.
I think
the
mayor
Why
of
is he
Minnesota
smiling after they
said
cleared
that
a park of protesters out of there with tear gas?
Not allow the military to be used.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
He's refusing to
but we
deploy
are
the military
descending
or the
into
National
something that
Guard.
is not the United States of America tonight. There's just no other way to put it.
Foresight as to
Also,
what
at
will
a
actually
time
happen
when
if
you're
he
trying
does that.
to kind of reach out to all the people in America, for the president to do this, and his all-white coterie hanging around him outside a closed-down church. I don't.
Into a protest. That's like putting fire into the fire, not even wood or gasoline, just pure fire.
It's only like the fourth fucking day, man. Like, what is he thinking? I'm interested. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm interested to know how people are defending this. Because I suspect people are defending this. I'm curious to know what end. Although curious, I also don't want to know. Because imagine the argument is going to be, well, he's a criminal. He was a criminal to begin with. A new version of... I don't want to care about new versions of Google News. Racism is in the news. That's a shock.
Who would have thought?
Oh yeah, I know that. I mean, racist and sense of logic are not mutually exclusive things. Oh my! What is this, Mr. Murphy? You know who Rex Murphy is, right, Mark?
Oh my god, I read that headline. Oh my god.
So,
Oh my god, I can't believe that's a real fucking headline.
it definitely is. Oh yeah, they're definitely in denial over what it is they're doing. That's without a doubt. But to what, like, I don't know, man. I think it's people incapable of like looking past themselves. But this is some magic. I'm gonna post this in Discord. This is some real fucking magic. This is an actual Canadian headline from a dude who's like done like news, who's won awards for doing news, and it couldn't be fucking further from the goddamn truth. I mean, we've certainly done stuff to kind of rectify some of the horrible shit that's happened, but I mean, no, it's still definitely like it still exists, man.
Man. It's shocking to think. I love the Twitter replies and the Twitter page. Canada's literally an indigenous burial ground.
Yeah. Considering where we are currently fucking fighting over whether or not they should have fucking oil pipeline through their lands. What am I going to think? Patriot, missing black man, and thug because of their minds. Those, yeah, that is completely true. It's very bizarre. I say bizarre because it, to me, doesn't make sense. And I understand to many people it does. Because there are people who believe like Jesus was white. And I understand those are unrelated things, but there are just generally dumb people who believe the most absurd things. Like, I don't know. These are things like I can't understand because I can't understand them. I just don't see them. I don't see the reason or logic in it. I'm not sure if it's because I was raised differently, or if it's just because it just genuinely kind of doesn't make sense. But at the same time, throughout history, we've seen every single example of fucking ethnocentrism, and it always goes to an extreme, and the rest of the world always responds to go, hey, that's not how people ought to be, because every single example of ethnocentrism has resulted in some manner of genocide every single time. So I mean, I would like to believe, like, part of me would like to believe that it's like a willful ignorance, but it's hard to. Like, you have to ignore a lot of stuff to kind of go, no, there's just people not knowing any better. I mean, is it just people not knowing better? Or could it be that, like, they do know better, but they just need someone to blame? And the easiest thing easiest thing to blame are people who are already disenfranchised and who've already had a history of just being treated like shit. Where their introduction to a country was that they were property and not human beings. And I don't know. Je ne sais pas, as the Spanish would say. I have a cat in my room. Give me a moment to let him out. Has it really been quiet the entire time?
Yeah.
I thought I was disconnected for a moment. I mean, I get that. I think people just I would like to believe people are not naturally shitty. But I don't like. Okay, when I say they need someone to blame, I don't mean that in like a good way to like shed a good light on them. Like people who refuse to take responsibility for their own actions need someone to blame. Someone who can't be accountable for their own actions needs someone to blame. Those are not necessarily good things. That's not necessarily painting them as a victim of their circumstance. Hitler needed someone to blame, but I don't think history has proven him to be like a victim. Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's people that are just too shitty and narrow-minded, and too self-absorbed to kind of go, hey, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the reason why this is happening. But it's I don't know. It's such a weird, muddled, fucking. It's like
It is, yeah.
I think it's becoming to the point where it's been a very quiet race war, where it's always been the establishment against, in particular, black people, but I also think to a degree it's against the people who have against the people who don't have. Because it's just like, because, for example, if like you can like defraud people billions of dollars and get like the slightest of a jail sentence and be in the lap of luxury while in jail. I say that term loosely because it's not. Meanwhile, you get someone homeless who will steal food for their survival, and they will get the harshest sentence imaginable just because they're poor and they can't afford like a defender. I use that term loosely too, and I say this as someone who has like some experience in the legal field. Not much, more of an education, not really any experience, but I know how scummy like paralegals and lawyers can be, and lawyers are stupidly expensive, and if you can't afford them, you're fucked. There's huge overlap. There's a lot of intersection between the two, because you'll find that a lot of disenfranchised people tend to be poor. I've never met a billionaire who fucking like who was ever shot by the police for, you know, fucking anything. Right. After a certain point in time, if you have a certain, and people who have a certain amount of money lose a concept of what money really is. So things stop being punishment. Things just start being up the price of doing things that you shouldn't normally do.
Yeah. like knowing exactly how much you need, for example, how much drugs you can have before it's too much to not be able to pay the bail and
Right.
just get out of it.
Right, and then you get people who can't pay bail, and that's usually what ends up being in the jails. It's shitty. It's fucking. It's why people are rioting, and they are protesting, I should say, because rioting is not quite the right word for it. I think we're finding out that capitalism is not working. It took a fucking pandemic to find out that a system that relies on people making money can only survive so long as people are making money. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Billionaires have no concept of money. They have no concept of reality, because usually our reality is steeped in what we can and cannot do. And if we can only do certain things that money allows us to do, then we kind of go, we measure our act versus our consequence. And if we go on a trip but we can't pay our rent, the consequence is being homeless, no matter how cool Alaska might be this time of year. And billionaires don't have that. They lose such a reality because there's no consequence to what they spend, because it doesn't matter how much they spend, they always have more. So they lose that. They lose touch of reality that way. It's why Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking alien. I understand that's a meme, but I mean it in every fucking sense of the word. So it's I don't know, man. It's shitty. But we're finding out capitalism's not working. We've kind of always suspected it. Those of us of higher intelligence.
I mean, if the system wants you and sustains itself by you making money, but the system doesn't provide you the choices or the opportunities to make that money that sustains the system, then the system doesn't work.
Yeah, and we're finding that out because like no one's like we found that out in the Depression, but no one fucking learned that lesson. So capitalism alienates the workers from their lives in one way and the owners from their lives in another. Yeah, I mean it commodifies us, if you want to use Marxist language. It makes us things, not people. It's why we become numbers and not names. We are just employee number like 33.9.5. Like we're not people. We're just someone they owe money to. And sometimes they don't like paying us that money. It's I don't know, and we're finding out because like for example, here in the lovely fucking country Canada, not a sponsor. Like the virus hits and they're like, stay home, we'll give you money to stay home. So we're staying home and they gave us money to stay home, and we're finding the economy is kind of tanking because we're finding out a system relies on us buying things, and if no one's buying anything because we don't know what the future holds, because all of a sudden we can't pay our bills because we're unemployed, because no one's buying anything, and no one's buying anything, there's no profit to a degree, or there is a profit and the bosses don't want to separate from that profit, then they have to like kind of curtail their what they perceive as losses. So instead of decreasing what they make themselves, they let go of people so they can kind of keep like what they consider a profit. We're finding out that system doesn't work anymore. Unrelated, I think Mark might find this very interesting. So, I don't even know if you're still there. Are you still awake?
Still awake.
You've been very quiet. So you know how like the WWE like laid off like fucking a bunch of hundreds of people?
Yeah.
So, New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was in the news yesterday. Kind of in the news. It wasn't really in the news. New Japan Pro Wrestling, like the guys in charge of that, they took a pay cut so they didn't have to fire anybody.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like that.
That's
so
really
like,
cool.
Yeah. So they like that's kind of like the different mentality. like Vince McMahon doesn't give a fuck about the people he works for. Like there were people like that were on Instagram fucking bawling their eyes out because they didn't have a job anymore, and they had no idea what was in the future, even though that company had several $billion in emergency funds, just in case something like that happened. Meanwhile, you have like other, and it is. I know because they haven't really lost touch with the fact that in order for them to make their money, they need people to be there. I know there are certain game companies where the CEO of a game company did a similar thing, where he took a pay cut so that everyone else could either make more money or that they didn't have to lose their jobs, because like they had like they were going like a rough patch or something. I forget what game company it was, but it was in Japan. Coincidentally, it's also where New Japan is housed. It's very interesting. It's what?
It's weird because like, so who in New Japan did that?
It was the people, everyone that owned, like the directors of New Japan. I think they run on a board of directors, and they basically agreed, hey, we make more money than our talent does. How about we cut our income by a certain amount and give it to our talent who are not working right now, because a lot of it turns out a lot of like what they make is in like I think it's like in live shows, and they can't do live shows like not like live shows, not like TV shows, not TV shows, but like stuff where they go to like different like venues and they do stuff live where it's not televised. A lot of their money is made like that, and they obviously can't do that because pandemic. So there are people who are just not making money, and so to curtail that, they're the people that are like higher up in charge of the company are basically going, hey, we're gonna willfully take a pay cut, and so that everyone else under us can live a comfortable life, which is pretty fucking solid of the people at New Japan.
Man, I don't think I would have like ever seen that from like any. I don't think I would see that from like any company, quite frankly.
Well, a few companies are doing it. Because like I think with but by the way, kind of big wrestling fan. Spoiler alert. Actually, turns out AEW did something very similar too. Although the guy that runs that's also a billionaire, but he seems like fucking like he understands people. So they signed a dude who was injured when they signed him, and they still paid him, even though he wasn't working for like 5 months. Like they signed him knowing he was injured, and they gave him money anyway. And wow, I think when the virus hit, and then the quarantine started, they said like if you want to show up to like tapings and stuff, you can. It's not mandatory, and you get paid anyway. And they laid nobody off, and they were actually like they were hired local talent to fill up their shows. So the stuff that WWE did was like completely like unnecessary.
Oh yeah, it's super unnecessary. But like I think like they also did it like how do I say this? So Vince had lobbied, I think it was Vince or Linda, did like some lobbying in Florida to get the WWE called to get it labeled like an essential business.
Oh yeah, real scummy. Really scummy.
And then they did that for like some like tax reasons. Like I think because they did that, like they got to save like it was like 40 million in taxes or something like that. I don't remember the whole story. But basically she lobbied to do something to get them to save however much money in taxes, and then after that fired all those people so they could save even more money.
God, so scummy.
So like not only like is it scummy that like they just let go everybody, it was like they knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. They of course they knew what they were doing. So scummy. Oh, so disgustingly scummy.
Just giant shitbags those guys are.
Just, oh god. But yeah, capitalism, am I right? It's like god. Here's the thing, I gave up saying it, so I'm not going to say I'm not a political person. However, I just know that there are some things that just don't work, and I don't think anything that requires you to exploit people, like capitalism. I'm gonna say that from now on. Capitalism, I like that. It just, I don't know, dude. It requires the exploitation of people, and it just, and I don't know. It's so dumb. And sure, people think it's fucking all great and that we rely on it for the sake of fucking, but it's for the sake of like having like a stable economy. But I mean, considering our system relies on that, and like if something happens, something unexpected happens and it crashes, I don't know if that's a good system. It would be like if you had a car and if you didn't have like your seatbelt on, your tires fell off. It's like that to me. It doesn't make sense. The one thing is not correlated to the other.
It's a system that only works for the people that already have something. It's not a system that helps or works for the people that need that something. It's pretty much a system of if you have it, good for you, get more. If you don't have it, then fuck you, because you're not going to get it.
Pretty much. Sounds familiar. It's really good at finding efficiencies, but we're past that point where that's important. Yeah, I would agree. There are people who think that I don't know where I was going. My brain just farted. It's just, I don't know, man. It's dumb. I think it's anything that like just only benefits a handful of people, and those handful of people are in power, and those handful of people who are in power are like, hey, we should fucking be like, oh hi Lincoln. And they're like, hey, we should keep this because like how useful it is. I have all the power, and there's like one of me and 89 of you fucking suck. I think there's an issue. But you know, what can you do? Other than protest. There's a novel idea.
Pretty much.
See, you guys sound very tired. I'm going to assume Mark fell asleep.
He probably died. Oh no, he's...
I'm not asleep.
What?
What? I said I'm not asleep.
No.
Yet.
So, is there any? I mean, we managed to pull fucking 3.5 hours talking about Donald Trump.
Yeah, that was insane.
What?
That was insane. I thought we were going to last like an hour and a half at most.
I've never done this podcasting thing before.
No.
I can only we can vote because apparently impeachment only applies if you're a Democrat. Apparently, yeah. You guys have anything other topics you guys want to go on about? Because I'm all fresh out of ideas.
I don't know.
Can't really think of anything.
Shall we reconvene in a week?
Yeah, totally. Maybe we can like find some plan that too.
This is very improvised. Didn't
Yeah,
even
planning.
I mean,
It's
know,
important.
It was very improvised. It was mentioned that we should do a podcast because it was threatened some time ago, and then it was brought up again today. And the original plan was to do it next week, but then I found out that it was very threatened, and then I found out that Donald Trump called martial law on the U.S. and this is how this happened. So there's supposed to be a lot more planning, like actual topics and stuff. So I think for an improvised thing, 3.5 hours isn't bad. And that's all I really got. Yeah, no, the purge really has begun. Like, it's fucking dude. Like, Trump is has become like a full-on dictator at this point, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he was before. It's just as now people are seeing it more. I mean, he's like letting the light shine. He's kind of not hiding it anymore.
I mean, he wasn't
just
hiding
accepted
it for like a long time, but now he's just like, "Hey guys, fuck the blacks," and he's like, "Military, go!" He throws out the military like Ash Ketchum throws out Pikachu.
He blows into a dog whistle.
Oh my god!
But what else is new, right? So
there's fine folks on both sides, okay? Just like a global virus, yeah. No, I genuinely think that the only reason why the protests are as like massive as they are is because there's been a lot of people out of work, and they just have a place to be and time to be there. I think if it was any other time, it would just be like any other protest. And I think if it was any other president, there might be an actual change. I don't think there's going to be a change. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's something to pass the time per se, but I mean, I don't think it's like a point of hobby or anything, but it's it's a civil war. It's a civil war
Pretty
between
much.
friends. It's gonna be fucking people starting fire. Oh, I mean, gotta do something with their time.
Yeah, like if you can go to Target, just raid a Target. That's it.
It's like,
Have some fun while going to Target.
although I have seen people blocking like stores from being like destroyed and shit. Because there's a lot of people that think like it's like people are like being staged to fucking like destroy shit.
I mean, it looks like a video game trailer. Like, it looks like a fucking wasteland.
It really does. Like fucking fires everywhere, fucking shit destroyed. I think like a museum. Like I forget what museum. But there was like a museum that was like set on fire. It's insane shit, dude. It's turning into a real fun time.
And we'll see what else comes in the pass of these days, cause shit's getting wilder and more fucked.
It's getting interesting. I feel like anyone that's like more interested in like the destruction of shit is fucking having the time of their life.
Yeah, probably. Or getting arrested and beaten up. Or both.
And not in that order.
Yeah, not exactly.
But I don't know, man. It's interesting. Like I kind of want to see how it plays out. Like I want to. The overly morbid part of me wants to see it like at its worst, but I don't want to see it at its worst. Like the human part of me doesn't want that because the worst is really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's a civil war between like a coalition between corrupt government and fucking racists against everyone else. So, you know, fun time had by all. Got a bag of popcorn. Oh. You guys wanna conclude the first podcast?
I don't know how the fuck to do that.
Because
So, Trump is insane. We're all going to die.
Not we all. We're in different countries, so
we not. The U.S. is going to die, and we'll survive. Probably, hopefully.
Let's tune in for the spin-off series.
Can't wait for America too.
America too. Oh, people think it could be China.
Yeah, I honestly I would believe that. Like once.
I mean, it's
fucking
similar.
Sorry,
they're similar.
Cat scratching the couch. Like China's fucking huge, man. Like not like population, but like in terms of like power and stuff. Like they're a pretty beefy country. Like if America slips, I mean, you're gonna have an actual, like, if they slip any harder, I mean, you're gonna have, you know, like China as like a global superpower, the global superpower. You know, there's gonna be a power vacuum,
Pretty much,
and someone's got to fill it. You know, China's gonna fill it, and it's not gonna look pretty. So it's a scary time. I don't fucking blame people for being scared, man. It's fucking horrifying out there.
We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
As like just a watcher, it'll be a fun time. I would hate to be in it. I would just like I was saying earlier.
I wouldn't like that either.
Like it's literal history being written right now. I mean, history's always being written. That's kind of the whole thing of history. But I mean, like it's happening. Like this shit's gonna be like textbooks.
Yeah, probably.
Not just a Wikipedia page. It's gonna be in textbooks. In the same way, like I don't know if the LA riots are in textbooks. I'm not that fucking learned, but you know. Oh, that might be why that wasn't showing up, because I didn't transition. Well, now I know for next time that the fucking chat wasn't working properly. Whatever, I don't care.
What?
Actually, fix that now. Boom. There. I was wondering why that wasn't showing up, and because I goofed.
Cool.
It's gonna show up.
Yeah, it's showing up.
There it is. That was meant to be there the whole time. I done goofed. I don't know, man. It's being textbooks tomorrow, maybe. If Trump doesn't burn the books first.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking about that.
The man poses.
Maybe he's already doing it.
What in the world? Oh, I can get it.
Liquors.
It should be interesting. I don't have any better words. I need to find better words than interesting. Everything's interesting to me. I don't want to have that become a meme.
You know, I mean, it's a good a word as any. I mean, it will be interesting. It's Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a really scary time.
Apparently Trudeau is he says anti-black racism is alive in Canada.
He said what?
That anti-black racism is in Canada. You know, like freshwater is in Canada. We noticed. Shitty black and white photocopies of Trump's. Oh my god, dude! You think they're gonna get tested? You really think they're gonna be tested? I don't think they're gonna be tested. I don't think for a 21st century Nazi, I don't think education's in the books. No pun intended. I don't see it being possible. I don't see it being likely. Just because I find that people that hold a certain opinion don't like fucking being shown anything different than what they believe. I mean, that goes for most people, I guess, but I mean,
Yeah.
More bigots are less likely to be, like, you know, open-minded, which, you know, is why they're bigots, but, you know, as you do.
As you please and as you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before this becomes like almost 4 hours, about Reagan and Nixon in high school, we learned nothing about Reagan and Nixon, because 2 of us are Canadian, 1 of us is Colombian.
Yeah, I don't know shit.
Yeah, I don't know anything about American presidents except one of them apparently did 9/11.
Yeah, that's pretty much how far my knowledge can get.
we think one for everything, and the current one is a Nazi, a orange vagina-eyed Nazi.
Pretty good way of saying it, yeah.
He's like the annoying orange except a racist.
Jesus. No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, before it becomes 4 hours, you guys want to end it off for now?
Yeah, I think that's it. So I think that's a good point to close up.
Vagina eyes is a great spot to close off on.
Pretty much.
That's what happens. I agree. That's what happens to me. Rules of free world. So, I guess the podcast, if we call it that, or just 3 dudes talking. I guess that, I mean, I'm gonna continue streaming.
Sure.
I mean, if you stick around, you stick around. I don't care. But I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna end the recording right now. I don't know why I said that before doing that. So I'm not editing this. This is gonna be in the VOD now. So I was live and recording the podcast. I'm gonna not say that next time because that kind of ruins the fucking allure or the illusion that I know what I'm doing. I don't. I never have. So any final thoughts, guys, on the hullabaloo that is the series finale of the United States of America?
If we get The Purge, will that mean that the Purge movies are documentaries?
Say thanks for... No, I will not thank people for listening. That's weird. That's overdone. That's cliche. I don't like cliches.
I don't know how to conclude my thoughts. I don't feel welcome now. I hope that it ends peacefully, but if we get to see another civil war, then I mean, shit.
Yeah, I guess. Well, shit is the only thing we'll be able to say.
I think well shit might be the description of the video. What I'll do is, because I'm switching to a game, I'm gonna do what I usually do, and actually, what first I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the recording part. So this was a test. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. No, I'm not saying that. I don't know how to end anything. If you've learned anything from any of my streams, I don't like doing like typical stuff. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit that notification button if you want to watch more.
Wouldn't it be funny if you just like...
I hate you and also fuck you. Well, thanks, Dad.
Whoa.
So what I'm gonna do? All right, hang on. Yeah, I guess that's better. Don't forget to hate. Look, okay, this is gonna happen again. All right, whether you like it or not. That's too aggressive. I don't know. It's fucking. Number 2 is gonna be about something hopefully fucking happier. I don't goddamn know. We'll talk. I guess we'll just talk about the fucking memoirs of Josephine next time.
Oh fuck me.
I don't fucking know, dude. Anyway, this part's done. So I should say something